My bad. As you can see, things going absolutely wrong on me already. I was in the process of saying good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, wherever you're tuning in from, and welcome back to the Irish Hotspur. But of course, your boy had him on mute like a dumbass, so I do apologise about that. And of course, no Jacko tonight, because Jack actually is moving apartment at the minute, so he's very, very busy trying to get everything done in a short space of time. So that's why we have no Jacko here with us this evening. But you've got your boy David here running the show tonight. Plenty of guests to come on, and of course, plenty of things to talk about, which I will get into any moment now. But let's see who is in the chat joining us today. And we have the one and only Killian Kenny. Big up, Killian Kenny. Hopefully you're keeping well, my man. Great to see you in the building. Who else have we got here? We've got Paddy Higgins, my man. He says, well, this episode isn't going to cheer me up. Geez, I'll give you 10 minutes, and if it's still doom and gloom, on my way back to the Iceland live volcano stream. No worries at all, Paddy. No worries at all, my man. Big yourself up. Who else have we got in the building? We have Jim. Big up, Jim. He says, hi, Dave and Jack, my fellow Spurs lovers. Shh, don't tell anyone. It's supposed to be a secret, my man. Big yourself up, brother. Who else have we got here? We have Taruk Macdo. Let's go. Big yourself up, my man. Hopefully you're keeping well. Adrian Schrocker, great to see you, my man. By the way, I've seen you on the channel there before, and you had great things to say. When are you going to make the lunge and get on here, my man? Big up, Adrian. Great to see you. Who else have we got in the building? We have Echo. Kane isn't going anywhere unless Bayern come up with a decent beat. Doubt very much if Lewis said anything about it at all. He doesn't care enough. Journals spouting clickbait BS. Look, the journals, can't blame them. You know, they had nothing to do last night. They're supposed to talk about the game, tactics, blah, blah, blah. But because it was cancelled, they had nothing else to write. So they had to go deep down into the list of people at Tottenham. And they've used everyone else there so far. The only one they haven't gone to is Joe Lewis. So that's why they plucked that one out of thin air. Big up, Echo. Good to see you in the building. Welsh Gal, great to see you. Hopefully you're keeping well. Big up, Welshie. You definitely might need an IPA for this. Gamer16 says, if we really do sell Kane, just need to get a proven striker that can score at least 15 goals a season. Somebody like Watkins, if we do, we'll be fine because the rest of the squad will be improved. Big up Gamer16. Big up Tyler. Great to see you as well, my man. We also have Christian Hill. Not exactly a disaster. One game cancelled because of weather. That's about the preseason. Just hear me out and I'll get onto it in a minute, my man. R Green 216. Evening, my man. Hopefully you're keeping well. Great to see you in the building. Georgie Hill, big up, lads, and everyone in the Harris Army. Hope you're all keeping well and staying sane during the transfer window. I mean, I'm trying my best, but the more news that comes out just irritates me. Scooter React says, more than all, big up. Come on, you Spurs, big up. Big up, King Huddle. Great to see you here as well, my man. Hopefully you're keeping well. By the way, when are you going to come on one of the fan shows as well and have a conversation? Same as John Stokes, another one who has to get on and have a convo with us. Big up, John. Hopefully you're keeping well, sir. Big yourself up. We have Mark Ivy says, still in talks with Tatsoba. What are they talking about the past 6 weeks then? I mean, the stuff that came out today this evening from Fabrizio Romano, let's be brutally honest. I mean, it's not new compared to where we left off 2 weeks ago when it died. Nothing new whatsoever. Still trying to get it done. And like I said on the transfer stream we just done, I mean, there's no excuse for it. They've had how many months since they knew Ange was going to be the manager to get it done? Even before they appointed Ange, they still knew it needed to be done regardless. So they've had since last January when they made excuses for not doing it last January and told us 2 were coming in this year. And then they've also known since Toby and Yannick gone that it needs to be improved. So they've had 3 years at this point. I mean, I don't know what's bloody going on. But big up Derek Hutchinson. Good to see you in the building, my man. Who else have we got here? We have Damianos 13, second stream. I'm confused. Yeah, the first one was a transfer stream, and now this one's a fan show, my man. Few different talking points on this one as well, may I add. That's how hard at work we've been. Steady Shark, big yourself up. Great to see you. We have the one and only Ellie in the building. Great to see you, Ellie. Hopefully you're keeping well. Hopefully we see you on tonight at some point. Foggy Foam, big up Dave and everyone. Big up Foggy Foam. Great to see you, my man. Who else have we got here? Paddy Higgins just saying hi again. Absolute legend. Where else are we? Shed Tam, he's in the building. Hey, Dave, good to see you. Some positivity, please. I need some. Look, I get as much as we need it, and I get as much as we want it. But we can't be naive to the issues that have cost other managers their jobs. And that's why I feel like it's important to highlight and try and get as much pressure on to get the business done as we can. So that when we do go into the season, the positivity is absolutely, there's a reason for it to be there. That's all I'm saying. Big up, Shentam. Great to see you, my man. Hopefully you're keeping well. Good evening, Wayne Bonner. Hopefully you're keeping well, sir. Can't wait to do that Tell Me Your Spurs story, like I said. And we also have Tan Halan says, how mad are we when we're left with Lenglet and Maguire? I don't even want to think about Lenglet. I actually have no problem with him coming back in here, but I still want two to go with it. Mark says, does Levy really think we don't need top centre-backs? God knows. I mean, judging by the last few years, probably. Wisdom Wolf, good evening, man. Hopefully you're keeping well. We got Elson. Big up again there. Big yourself up, my man. Great to see you. Rob Belcher, great to see you in the building. Passion for Spurs is his middle name. Big up, my man. I appreciate that. Big up, Rob. Hopefully you're keeping well, sir. Slow Jam Rod, nice to see you in the building as well. Hopefully you're keeping well and sane. A bit more saner than me. Big up, Godfrey as well. Hope I'm well. I'm doing well, but as you can see, right, if you think back to the start of the summer, your boy was a bit calm, looking a bit pale, but calm. And I've slowly noticed the more streams that go on, the redder I'm getting. And that's because my blood pressure is rising because of the transfer business that should have been done, that's not done. So, big up, Godfrey. Take from that what you will, my man. We've got Keith Edwards. Davey, don't think Ange would not hold back in telling Levy a few home truths once the season starts. I mean, he already came out after West Ham game and spoke about the centre-back, the need of it. So, I see signs of frustration already. Nomad says, looking for peace in a centre-back and a forward or pace. I mean, look, it's not hard. Most of them now all have pace when they come through. Big up, Emily. Emily's telling you all what to do. Don't forget to like, subscribe. And by the way, memberships. So I'll put out something in the community section for all you fan show and you elite members. Make sure to check it out and get in contact. It's something to do with your perks for your memberships. And anyone else who doesn't have one and feels like they might want to get one and wants plenty of engaging extra content throughout the season, behind the scenes, make sure you click that join button on the channel interface. Click on it. There's a lovely video there explaining exactly what we're offering, etc., etc. And if you think it's for you, why not get it? But also, most importantly, we do fan shows every single Monday. We stay here until you guys are finished talking about what you want to talk about. So that's even more of a reason to grab one. Let me see who else we've got here. Lisa, big up, David. Twice in one day. Lucky me. Look, some people say they're lucky. Some people say they're unlucky. So I'm glad you think you're lucky on that one. We've got Sean E.J. Daniels says, hi, guys, from Barbados. I mean, what a nice part of the world to be from. Who do you think? What do you think of Alex Scott if Hojbjerg is sold? Tosin Van de Ven and Tapsoba were bought this week, or we are not serious. Look, Alex Scott, I think he's a player of great potential. I remember Guardiola raving about him after City played them and stuff like that. However, right now, is he an upgrade on Hojbjerg, and is he what we need going forward? Because we've got to remember, we're trying to improve that first 11 still, let alone backups and stuff like that. And for me, I'm just not sure someone like Alex Scott is the right route to go down. Could be proven wrong. Look, like I said, I think he's a good player, but I'm not sure if he's that much of an upgrade or what we really need, because he still needs to be developed. He still needs to be worked on. We could bring him in and realize he might need a loan move. So there's too many variables to it, my man. Big yourself up. Paul Marty, great to see you in the building, sir. Hopefully you are keeping well. My man, he says, now favourites to sign Numpty Maguire. Our club is run by Numpties. Maguire would even make Beckenbauer look poor if he played beside him. Look, when it comes to Maguire, I think if we were talking about him in January as sort of a low move to see how it went, up until the end of the season, I would have said, okay, sort of it's what you expect in a January transfer window. But when we've had months and we've been told Van de Ven, Tapsoba, and look, you're not dealing with massive amounts of money here, like where you're dealing with a Real Madrid or a Bayern Munich, where them deals, I can understand, payment structures and the amount of money that's involved takes time. We're dealing with Wolfsburg and Bayer Leverkusen here. It should be done by now. Surely they could have come to some agreement by now. And if we waited all these months for it just to be Maguire, I don't know what the plan is. I don't know what the plan is going forward, Paul Markey. Maybe you can make sense of it, my man. Let me know. But look, I just don't understand it, man. I don't understand it. There's so many months to plan for this, and this is where we're at now, 18 days away from the season. Still wondering who that centre-back partnership is going to be. It's madness. But big up, Paul. Really appreciate the support, brother. And, by the way, hopefully you enjoyed the All-Ireland hurling final as well. It was a great game, my man. Big yourself up. Catman Jess, great to see you as well. Hopefully you're keeping well. Who else we got here? Who am I missing? Make sure I'm not missing anyone. I don't want anyone to feel grieved. We have Terry Wright. He says... Oh, now my computer's giving up on me. It's not my day today. It's breaking. Kane's father has been spotted drinking a German beer in London. Kane's departure to Germany now looking very likely. Sky Sports nonsense. Honestly, I mean, some of the stuff we're seeing, like, You know, Kate must be cloned about 10 times. She's been seen here, there, and everywhere. Harry Kane's girlfriend. It's an absolute joke. Absolute joke, some of the stuff they're making up. I don't know. We have Evan McKay. Big up, Dave, and everyone in the house. Big up, Evan. Great to see you in the building, my man. Hopefully you are keeping well. We have Neil Shafton. Big up, Neil. Hopefully you're keeping well, my man. Good back and forth the other day. He says, Daniel Levy at it again, creating noise to draw attention for not getting the centre-backs in. Imagine it was Levy whipping up all this Kane news to distract from the fact that Tottenham haven't got centre-backs. That would be absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. David Hall says, does the club really have big money now? Look, of course they've got money. Like, we go on like Tottenham are poor. They're not. There's teams down below us, you know, teams in relegation battles and all that spend more than us. You know, it's just not good enough. It's about the ambition now at this point. What do they want from this football club? Look, many people already argue they already know exactly what they want. But look, onto Dave's talking points for today. Are you concerned about the lack of games / minutes our squad has had over this preseason compared to other Premier League clubs? And for me, I think it's a huge concern. I put out a video 2 days ago talking about this whole thing more or less being sort of a pointless exercise. And when you look at it, players that Postecoglou will be looking at have had 45 minutes of action. Same way as players he'd probably be looking to get rid of has had 45 minutes of action. Don't get me wrong. I get it's not 100% the club's fault for the game being called off yesterday. However, someone sanctioned us going out there in the middle of monsoon season and knew that there would be a possibility of it happening, which has hindered us. Now, I get we still got the City Sailors. They're more or less a pub team. Should hammer them. And you've got Shakhtar and Barcelona, sort of decent level sort of friendlies. But, you know, I just can't. I just feel that the whole thing has just been a pointless exercise. We brought that large of a squad, that players that do need adapting to Postecoglou system that he wants to keep. How much time and dedication can him and the coaching staff really put into them guys to help them get ready for the new season if they've got such a large squad? You know, for me, I just think the whole thing has just been one pointless exercise completely. You know, we still don't know what Ndombele's future holds, what he's going to look like. We still haven't seen him in action. So we still don't know what the story is with him. So for me, I mean, I won't be coming off this preseason tour knowing exactly who Ange wants to keep, who he wants gone. You know, we don't have the minutes in the legs that we would have hoped to have got. So for me, I think the whole thing has just been an absolute farce. And all it's done is delayed our transfer process as well. So for me, I just think the whole thing has just been a pointless waste of time this time around, to be honest with you. But look, that's on the club. That's not Ange Postecoglou. Ange Postecoglou has to live up to his word. He said, I'm going to give everyone a clean slate, which means absolutely everybody. So he has to do that, because if he doesn't, it forms unhappy people in the dressing room, and then unhappy people in the dressing room end up getting the manager sacked. So I can understand it from Postecoglou's point of view. But the club should have had centre-backs in the door so that he could have said, no, we're going to leave a couple of behind, or this, that, and the other. So for me, I think more or less a complete waste of time. Let's see what the people in the chat are saying. Let's have a look. Big up, Jacob, by the way. Hopefully you're keeping well. Good to see you in the building. King Hoddle, does he agree with me? That's a thumbs up. Maybe it's a rare agreement here. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm jumping the gun. Mark Ivy says, Postecoglou is literally working with his hands tied. They have happened. It's happened with every manager that's walked through the door. And this is my point as well. You know, I really thought that this time we were going to maybe try and do things differently, you know, really get it done nice and early in the transfer window, especially because you're talking about a goalkeeper, centre-backs, getting that midfield to gel, potentially having to replace Harry Kane. That's the whole spine of your team, right down through the middle of your team. And if that's not solid, it's going to create problems. It's just a disaster, absolute disaster. Who else have we got here? Let me see. Duncan's Talk. Big up Duncan's Talk. He says, big up, Dave. Breaking news from Tottenham. Our centre-back situation is exactly, don't do it, my man. Don't do it. I'm already trying to not get off on it, but you're trying to set me off. Beat yourself up, my man. Brad Matthews also has come in here. What's he saying? Apparently, Harry Kane's favourite Faulty Towers episode is the Germans. Neil Shafter says, thank God you aren't and Ali Gold or another blogger journal on tour with only one game played, traveling to watch them practice. I feel sorry for some of them people that have gone out. Look, maybe not Alice Gold. I would presume that maybe Football London have helped pay for that. But there are Spurs fans that have made their way out to the pre-season tour that paid for it all out of their own pocket. I feel sorry for them guys. Even anyone that might have bought Spurs paid the £45, sit there and watch yesterday's game, and then it's cancelled. Look, it's a mess. And then Chris says, breaking news, Harry Kane's giving Bratwurst sponsorship deal to sign Bayern Munich. German sausages. Love it. Big up, Bob. Big counter swag. Great to see you in the building, my man. Hopefully you're keeping well. And the Owlads in the building says, can we sell Levy? I mean, yeah, if that 1% want to start getting their act together and, get that bid in for the club, that would be nice. But big up that. Hopefully you are keeping well, my man. Now, who else have we got here? We have, could the club have planned better? Yeah, well, that's exactly what I was saying. I mean, I think they could have. Does Ange know his best 11? Now, on this one, I think this is one thing we can sort of take away from the preseason tour. When you look at the West Ham starting lineup, when you look at the starting lineup that was supposed to be yesterday, you look at it, they're much stronger than the second half 11. So you'd like to think the majority of that is where Ange Postecoglou sees starting 11. But does he go with Hojbjerg or Emerson? Does he go with a Dozier or Reguilon? And also in midfield, interestingly enough, even though Hojbjerg apparently agreed teams with Atletico Madrid, agreed personal ties with Atletico Madrid, he was due to start yesterday in that other number 8 role, which I also feel is up for grabs. So I still think there's 3 positions to play for, plus if that new centre-back comes in, 4 positions to play for. But I think Ange Postecoglou would ideally know sort of around the rest. But I'd argue it's still more or less the same with Conte, right? You had a lot of players in there that he trusts, but then there are other players that you had to pick, even though he wasn't fully 100% behind them. And I just don't want Ange Postecoglou to have to suffer that fate either. But so let me know, people. Do you think Ange Postecoglou knows his best 11? What do you think of Tottenham's choice to cash in on Hojbjerg? For me, I think it's a huge risk right now as we stand. I get we might get in a replacement, but Basuma and Papa Matasar are after the African Cup of Nations, January and February, so you're going to be missing them. Bentancur is expected not to be back till around October, November time, so you're going to be missing him. So that leaves you with Basuma, Madison, Skip. And obviously you still have Sarr and Basuma there up until the AFCON. But for me, I don't think it's a smart move us selling someone like Hojbjerg right now, especially when I think he's better than Skip as well. I think he'd be an ideal backup to someone like Basuma in the sixth, rather than someone like an Ollie Skip, because I know a lot of people go on about the quality of Hojbjerg, but for me, he's better on the ball than Ollie Skip. He adds in a couple of goals, throws in a few assists along with what he already does. And I just think going into the season with so many unvariables, we don't know how Ange Postecoglou is going to get on. We don't know how Vicarios get on, whether that defence will be improved. That midfield still needs time to click. And we don't know whether we're going with Harry Kane or not. So for me, to get rid of some of the leaders in and around the squad right now doesn't make sense, especially when we're leaving. He's going and we're being kept with players who don't really give a toss about this football club or the fortunes on the pitch. And I'm talking about the likes of Ndombele and Estasso, and I can say that about these guys because they were very happy to be shipped out. You've got Dyer, when Sanchez is on his way out now. You've got Davies, people like that just not good enough to be here either. So for me, I thought the whole process of a window is to strengthen your team, not weaken it. But it looks like we're going to weaken it. I don't understand it, me personally. I'm left a bit perplexed on that, and that's a good word from me, by the way. 10 out of 10. I want to see people give me thumbs up in the comments for that word. And then you have, do you believe the story about Joe Lewis getting involved in the Kane saga? I mean, what an absolute load of tripe. Joe Lewis doesn't care. He doesn't tell Daniel Levy who to bring in, who to sell. Plus, Joe Lewis's shares were put into a trust. So more than likely, if anything, it's come from someone within that trust, rather than Joe Lewis himself, who's always been out on his yacht in the Bahamas. He does not care. He just leaves the running of the club over to Daniel Levy. And if he's willing to come in and have a say on the Harry Kane saga, well, where was that say over the last 3 to 4 years when we've been struggling on the football pitch? So if he can come in and have a say on the Harry Kane transfer saga, then I can also expect him to come in and save this club and go and get the right players possible to help our fortunes on the pitch. And then we have, who is to blame for the Harry Kane saga? Do you blame Harry Kane? Do you blame the club? Now, me, I see it a bit one-sided recently. I see a lot of people sort of putting on Harry Kane. As you know, your boy, massive Harry Kane fan, and Harry Kane's a massive fan of me as well, so it works both ways. But for me, I think the club has to burden a lot of this blame. They knew when they gave him the pay rise after the whole City ordeal that they had a couple of seasons to be able to, put the right project in front of Harry Kane to be able to get him signed on the dotted line, and they failed to do it. And they've chopped and changed different managers and all since then as well. So, as much as we want to blame Kane for not signing a new deal, Kane also has ambitions of winning a trophy. And when you look at it right now, why would Kane sign when we still got more or less the same back line back there? He ain't going to sign on the dotted line knowing exactly what, that might not change. So, for me, I actually think the club have to shoulder a large burden of the blame for this whole situation and the way it's panning out. Even if they wanted to sell Harry Kane, why haven't they come out and done it by now? It's too late now. You're 18 days out from a season. You're going to have to ask Ange to, bed in different players, get them in used to his system and everything else. It's too late. It's way too late, in my opinion. But look, we'll wait and see what happens. So they're my talking points. So everybody, please let me know what your thoughts are on them, and we'll go through the guests and get them on as well. We've got Al Ben says, good, promising signing at Spurs haven't turned out to be. It is too comfortable here. Yeah, look, I agree with that. I presume what you're saying is like over the years we've sort of made promising signings, but they haven't sort of, hit the ground running or turned out the way many expected them to turn out. And I can understand that, But the chopping and changing of managers, when you're buying a player for a system, 16 months later or 14 months later, he's playing under a different manager in a different system, then the same again. That's why a lot of these signings are sort of struggling to fit in. You look at the amount of wing-backs we signed underneath Antonio Conte. Now, my argument is if you're a good enough player, you should be able to play both, to be honest with you. But you do see in the modern-day football, wing-backs struggling to cope with the defensive ability or what's asked of them defensively as a fullback. So, it's just sort of like it's just been mixed, matched, wishy-washy. You've had two rebuilds. You've had one under Steve Hitchen, one under Paratici. Now it looks like, we'd probably, if Paratici eventually steps aside from the advisor role, go into another one. You've had so many different scouts, so many different, coaching setups behind the scene and everything else. It's just been one huge mess. No one knows whether they're coming and going. No one knows really what they're doing, and it's an absolute farce. And that's why I was hoping finally we've got our man 4 or 5 year project underneath him, and let's go for it and stuff like that. But it looks like we're holding back. But big up, Al Ben. Really appreciate the support, my man, and really appreciate the talking point. Let me know why you think, maybe some of these signings haven't worked out, brother. Big yourself up. But look, I'm going to start getting into it. I'm going to start getting on some of the guests. So if you guys, make sure you keep getting your comments in along as we go along. That would be greatly appreciated. But also, if you could smash the like, the subscribe button, if you're new, that would help. But also feel free, like Al Ben, like Paul Markey, to get your talking points in a super chat. It's a great way to help support everything we do here, and it's a great way to make sure we don't miss your comment, because we do try our best to bring everybody's up, but sometimes it's not possible to bring them all up and answer them all. So if you really do want to make it stand out, super chat is your man on that. But look, enough of me. You're constantly sick of listening to me. Let's start getting on the guest. Let's get the first guest on, and that is Mia from Spurs Between the Lines. Let's hear what she has to say. Let's get her on. Mia, how are you keeping?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, Dave. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, Mia. I'm just getting frustrated, it's weird because the more the season was getting closer, I was expecting to get more and more excited, but I'm getting more and more concerned and frustrated as the season draws to an opener. What's your thoughts on that? Maybe am I being too negative? Do you think I should be a bit more positive towards it, or do you think I'm right to maybe see the sort of issues that could come back to haunt us if we don't get them done?
I think everyone's got the right to be concerned. I honestly understand that. And I do think that the things that Anne just said is that we are working on getting those centre-backs and we are working on getting them done as quickly as possible. It's about who we're going to get as well, I suppose, as well. For me, we need someone more experienced and maybe someone else like a Van der Ven who isn't as experienced. So really, we do want a tap sober. That's where I would want someone like him, but we might not end up getting him. Let's wait and see. But I do think we will get some in. I do think we will. And I know that everyone's getting really frustrated about it. And I completely, like I say, understand why people are getting frustrated. But I think that will get done. I can't see us going into the season with the same centre-backs. I really can't. And the fact that Sanchez looks like he's getting sold as well. So,
On the centre backs, Mia, does the calibre matter to you? Because look, for me, I'd make the argument, even if it was Langley and Adebayo, it's still an improvement on what we got, but it's not the improvement we could have made given the time we had to do it. And for me, I still think it's not enough or enough ambition from the club. I think if them two were to come in alongside Tapsoba, I'd say, okay, fair enough. But, does the quality matter to you of the centre backs coming in? Would you be disappointed if it was, for instance, an Adebayo and a Langley or a Maguire or something like that?
Yeah, absolutely. I've said that. I've said I want two, and if Longley comes in as the third, that's fine. I can deal with that. But I do not want to see him as one of the main ones out of the two that we're getting, because I just don't think that's good enough. And Tosin, I just don't think he's going to be experienced enough. He's still young himself. It's not going to work well, I don't think, personally, with Romero, to start him next to Romero. He can be someone who can come in and get games, get experience, and get time. But I think that for me, we need more experience. So for you, if we got a Nelson and a Van der Ven, would you be happy?
Do you know what? I would to a degree, Mia, right? Because I'm of the opinion the majority of centre backs around the world are better than what we've got right now. But again, it's sort of like, is there enough ambition in that area? Because for me, Tapsoba's top of the list. He's got the most quality. With someone like Van der Ven, I get it, right? I think he's a quality player, especially in terms of on the ball. But there's still parts to his game that I think he needs that he's going to have to learn on the job if he was thrust inside Romero. Same with Victor Nelson. I think, look, he's got a great, passing wise, he's good, but I do think he's just as reckless as Romero. So I'm not sure on that partnership either. Whereas for me, I think someone like Tapsoba immediately slots in there, immediately adds something different to Romero in terms of a bit more composure, but just as physical, just as maybe aggressive, but does it in a better way. And also very good on the ball, but also a lot better in the air as well. So for me, it's just about what the club's ambition is, right? What's our ambition? Do we want to try and compete for Champions League spots and build on it from there and eventually go for the title? Or are we just happy to sort of lounge around,
Yeah, I don't think
Would you be all right with Victor Nelson and a Van der Ven?
No, I think that's probably not quite with Nelson, like you say. I think that he's probably not the greatest match for with Romero, because, like you say, he can be a bit rash. So probably not. I do think though that we're not going to get Champions League anyway this season. I've already said to myself, I feel like that this season I don't think there's that maybe. We are going to do that. So that kind of not really something I'm really thinking about this season. But I get what you're saying. Like for me, a Tapsoba would be the one. And maybe that's why we are working on it. But why is it taking so long? I haven't got a clue. I could not tell you. The fee is the fee. And I think what they're trying to do is get the fee down so they can buy Van der Ven as well. But what we need to do is just say, this is the offer. Do you accept it or not? Cool. If you don't accept it, we're going to have to find someone else and walk away. But I think that they don't want to walk away from it. I think that they really want Tapsoba. But this is getting silly now. You know what I'm saying? This is getting a bit silly. We need to kind of just get it. Either we're going to get him or we're not. Having these talks and talks and talks and talks. Like, I don't even talk to my children that much. You know what I'm saying?
Or nor would you negotiate with them that much to get them to do something either.
No, I wouldn't negotiate either. No, there's no negotiation in my house. Trust me.
Do you know what? Maybe you could, bring Daniel Levy over and show him how it's supposed to be done. Look,
I would love to. I'd love to have little words with him. Trust me.
When it comes to the negotiations with Tapsoba, Mira, I can understand a week or 2 weeks, right? But to be dragging on a month and a half is way too long. And it's like, I agree with you. I think maybe they're trying to get the best possible price and, maybe try and get a Van der Ven in on top. But the reality is, I mean, the club has money. And at some stage, you've got to go, okay, we might have a minor spend here, but it needs to be done. And that's what frustrates me. It's like, I'm all for balancing the books where we can, where we can. But at times, sometimes you've just got to go beyond that and go into the red to be able to get players in, to be able to improve the fortunes on the pitch. But Mia, I want to talk to you about Pierre-Emile Hojbjerg. What's your decision maybe on the club potentially looking to cash in on him?
Do it. If we're going to get someone else, then that's fine. Because if he doesn't suit what Postecoglou wants, and he thinks that somebody else is more suited. Also, from what I've heard, Hojbjerg also wants to go. So I think it's a case of a bit of both, actually. I think that Andrew's maybe saying to him, you're not going to get a lot of time to play. And Hojbjerg's like, I want to do something new. So if that's the case, I don't want to keep a player here that doesn't want to be here. I don't want a player here that maybe Ange Postecoglou won't be giving a lot of minutes to. So I think that it's probably, as long as we use that money to get somebody else, I think that for me, that isn't a bad decision. We could get someone else in. My thoughts is we're going to get rid of the Celso and the Pierre-Emile Hojbjerg and maybe get one other person, because I think that we're going to get 2 out and 1 in, because I think that will be enough if we do keep a Ndombele. If we don't keep Ndombele, I think we'll get 3 out and 2 in, because I feel like that would be enough cover if for what we need. So I feel like that would keep us well enough players in that for like the midfield, because we have 3. It's a 3-man midfield, so we need to make sure we have got enough cover. And he likes to swap it about as well, doesn't he? He likes to kind of switch it up a little bit in his midfield. So I feel like that's obviously then giving options if we did do that.
If they are planning on getting 2 in midfield, again, I'd be a little bit concerned, because sort of like 2 centre-backs and 2 centre midfielders, I mean, it's a lot to get done, and leaving it this sort of late going into the start of the Premier League season. I know it's open till the 31st of August, but, ideally you want the majority of your signings in before the window closes. But look, for me, I just think it's a huge risk by the club, especially with the unknown around the Celso and Ndombele, with the likes of Sarr and Bissouma heading off to AFCON after Christmas and stuff like that. It concerns me. And plus, I don't think Skip is good enough to be a backup to someone like Bissouma. I would rather a Hojbjerg be in there. But I do take your point that, there has been sort of murmurs in the press and stuff like that maybe Hojbjerg is looking to want to move on as well. I get the whole thing about Ange Postecoglou. Does he want him? Does he not? But Ange was about to start him yesterday over other options in what I would perceive to be more or less in and around his starting 11. And I would also say that Hojbjerg is fitting into every other manager system. I get that they've been defensive, but you hear this all the time on the Hojbjerg. But look, let's wait and see what happens. For me, I just hope if we do sell him, we actually use that money to strengthen. Because for me, that's what it's all about. If you're going to sell Hojbjerg, you want to get someone that maybe offers a bit what he does off the ball, but offers more on the ball. What sort of replacement would you be looking at, me, that you would be happy with to replace Hojbjerg?
Do you know what? If obviously they've been talking now that Villa are going for Amrabat. Now, I think Amrabat would be a brilliant player for us. Personally,
yeah,
he'll be brilliant. And if someone like Villa can go in for him, why can't we? Do you know what I'm saying? So for me, and
I was going to Barcelona a while ago. Is Villa gone in for him since?
I think that I'm sure that I read that Villa were going in for him. I'm pretty sure, but it could be untrue. It could be untrue. Like, all I'm saying is I'm sure that I did read that on the group chat somewhere along the line. But yeah, if that was a possibility, someone very similar to him, I would say would be a brilliant, a very good one to have. That's somebody I would personally say. But anyone else, I don't know. We've been linked with different people that don't seem to be quite what I would personally think would work. But what do I know? I'm just a regular old person. So,
Let's take King Huddle's chat here. And I have a few other ones started, and I'll get on to you after. But Mia, let's take King Huddle's comment here. He says, what about a 6 to challenge and compete with Bissouma? Would that be an issue if you let Hojbjerg go? I presume, Skip would probably be that guy. Do you think then that's an issue towards for you with that number 6?
Do you know what? Because Bissouma can kind of play both. He's a bit of both, isn't he, Bissouma? I suppose we've got Sarr as well. Don't forget we have got Sarr. And I know he's going to go back. He's going to go off to AFCON at some point. But I do think that for me, I think that we have got a Sarr. We've got obviously Skip. So I think we probably will look to get a 6, I reckon. I do think that we probably will. And especially, like I say, if we get rid of Lo Celso too, I wonder, and if we do get any like sell anyone else, that we might get go in. But I can see that happening. We could get someone, but like I say, maybe that's not the most pressing. I don't know one to kind of go for.
For sure. And look, let's get on to the Harry Kane saga, Mia.
Dear.
What do you make of the reports about sort of, Joe Lewis is telling Daniel Levy to sort of, if the 100 million comes in, sort of cash in, or even just setting a deadline, Kane either signs or doesn't. Do you believe that?
No, I don't believe that. I think that for me, it could have been, he's not in charge anymore of anything. I think that he signed it over, didn't he, to his granddaughter. So if anything, it might have been coming from maybe the family. I don't know, because they don't want to lose out on money for an asset, I guess. So I don't believe that it was actually Joe Lewis, because I don't even know if Joe Lewis even has got a clue who Joe Lewis actually is. Although he did come on my chat earlier, so maybe he's about. But so I don't think that's true. The whole thing with Kate being looking for houses, although I don't think it's a case because she's 7 months pregnant that she didn't do it. I think it's just not true anyway. That's my point of view, because people who say, "Oh, she can't do this, she's 7 months pregnant." Trust me, I worked until I was gone 8 months pregnant, so you can do a lot when you're pregnant. Like, you'd be quite surprised what a woman can do when she's pregnant, although it is quite difficult to do like some things. But I think if walking around looking for houses isn't like a big deal, but I still don't think she did it. So I think some of this stuff is a bit nonsense. I'm gonna start doing a fake news segment every morning, because this is ridiculous. Getting linked to Mbappe, honestly, it's just like, people believe this. I was like, really? Honestly, silliness. But I don't think that that's true. However, I do think that Bayern Munich are going to come in with an offer of 100 million euros, which I think works out about 85, 85, like that. Now, is that enough? I think it will get them talking to Levy, and maybe he might try and get a bit of add-ons with that and make up to 90. I can see that happening. And if we get that, I think we should take it. I think that now we can't take that risk, because I think it is a risk to not allow him to sign this summer and to not get any money for him, that we could end up going out on the free. I think that would be absolutely crazy to do that, in my humble opinion. So I would say that might be around the money mark that he might just accept. He might just go, okay, a little bit more with the add-ons, and we've got a deal.
Yeah. Do you know what? I agree with you on. I do think 85 million sterling gets them to the table for sure. I agree with that. I don't think Daniel Levy is going to make it easy on them. I think he's definitely going to ask them for more money, but it definitely buys them a seat at the table. And I think, being honest, I think if Bayern trigger, I think PSG come in, Real Madrid come in, and I think then when you're talking about clubs like that, all of them sort of come in. I think it's inevitable that maybe we might just end up losing this guy. But for me, I'm starting to get to the opinion, if it's not done, by the end of this week, for me, I think it's a bit too late for Tottenham.
Well, I've been reading. I read that there's going to be another meeting this week at the end of the week with Daniel Levy and Bayern. So, but I think, Joe, this is what I said to my brother earlier, was the problem with, not the problem, but the thing is, if PSG come in, Kane doesn't want PSG, I don't think. And I think Bayern Munich know that Kane doesn't want PSG. The club know that he doesn't want PSG. So there's not going to be a bidding war between them. So we're not going to get any more money out of Bayern Munich because PSG have come in, because they'll say, he doesn't want PSG. He told us anyway. He doesn't want, we all know he doesn't want PSG. So I think that's going to be a problem, because PSG can offer what they want. If we accept it and Kane says no, that's what they've got the problem with Kylian Mbappe. They've accepted something, but they don't know if he's going to say yes, because he doesn't have to say yes. That's the whole point. So the fact is that really, if we know that he wants Bayern, we need to try and make it work with Bayern Munich. If we know that that's what he wants, really, I think that would probably be a happy medium for everybody, because Kane wants it. If he wants to go, that's fine, and then we can get some money for him as well. But we need to be reasonable with our expectations of what we're going to get for him at the end of the day if he doesn't want to sign a contract.
What's the bare minimum you'd accept?
I said 85, and if add-ons as well to make it up to 90 would make it that bit sweeter, but I think I would say 85 now would be acceptable.
Interesting. For
Better
me,
than nothing.
Yeah, I get it. For me, I'd prefer 100 million plus if you want me to be.
What, euros or pounds?
Pounds
Yeah,
sterling.
we're not gonna get that for him though. That's the thing, because everyone now, it's a known fact he doesn't want to sign a contract. Bayern have kind of got a bit more leeway because they say, well, we know he doesn't want to sign a contract and you don't want him to go for free. So what are you going to do? You know, you're going to allow him to go for free and take that risk? That's a risky game.
Part of me thinks Daniel Levy's got to take that risk, you know. Part of me.
I don't think he will. So I've got somebody who I talked to, and they're pretty knowledgeable, and they said business-wise, Levy will not allow that to happen. Business-wise, because he's a businessman. Don't forget, ultimately, he is a businessman, and to allow your best asset to go for free, that's like selling a Porsche that's on your in your car lot to go for free. Or you know. You can buy the Ford Fiesta, but see the Porsche, you can have it for free. You're not going to do that now, are you?
I don't know. I wouldn't. I think Daniel Levy will. I think Daniel Levy weighs up in terms of Champions League football. I think he'd rather take the gamut of Kane firing us back to Champions League football and losing on free than being a few years out.
We could end up losing them on free and not being in Champions League, and then he'll be even a worse situation. I don't think his money, when it comes to risk. Let's just talk about Daniel Levy's risking. Like, he doesn't take risks. Look at the way he acts. He don't take risks. So for him to take that risk would be ridiculous, because he's not a buyer risk guy, is he? So he doesn't do that. So why would he take a risk for Kane? It would be very weird for him and out of the ordinary for someone like him to do that.
Yeah, I get it, but Kane's not an ordinary player. You know, he's a different ballgame. He's our best player, we're the best ever goal scorer. I think someone like Daniel Levy, just on this one, I think he might end up taking the risk. Look, let's wait and see what happens. I mean, it's ramping up now, it's heating up. So, you know, I think we'll know more over the next week, or by the end of the week, hopefully, you know, what the plans are around this whole saga is. So let's wait and see. But Mia, what's going on over at Spurs Between the Lights?
I do my daily videos with all the transfer news that I find. And actually, I said about the Hojbjerg news 2 days ago about him having an agreement. So I was actually someone who reported on that first. If anyone watches my videos, you'll get all the best news first. And I'll do it early as well. So I get all my news out nice and early in the mornings for you guys. It's normally like 5 minutes, so everyone can just literally watch it in 5 minutes. Get all the information that you need. I do my lives on Mondays, Wednesdays, Saturdays as well, so you can come and join me live and have a nice chat with me about what's going on at Tottenham. And I do other content. Obviously, I've done a video with you, I've done a video with Jack, I've done one with Ash, I've done one with Flav. So I've got all different people I like to collaborate with as well, which is nice to do collaborations. I've got Dermot, and hopefully it will be Philip as well, was coming on as well this week to do a preview of the game. So yeah, like I say, I like to do a bit of collaborations.
Nice. Well, everybody, please do get over and check out Mia's channel. Really good content out there. Like she says, a bit of everything for your choice. So make sure you get over and check that out. And plus, she's just a great person. So even more of a reason to smash that subscribe button. So Mia, thank you very much for your time.
And also, make sure that you subscribe if you haven't already to Dave, because I'm not just saying because he said to me, but Dave's been lovely. When I've had my little moments, my little blips, when I can't feel like I don't want to do it, I'm a bit funny about doing my YouTube, he's always said, no, you can do it. So, you know, he's always been very supportive of me.
No, look, it works both ways, you know. I think we all go through that stage where it's do I want to do it anymore? You know, can I do it anymore and stuff like that. But we've all got a great community around us that picks us up. So, Mia, thank you very much for your time, and we'll speak again very soon.
I'm sure that we will.
See you, Mia. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Everyone, big up Mia. Get over there, check out our channel. Make sure you hit that subscribe button over there. And we had Kenneth and also Paul O'Connor as well. Big up, Paul O'Connor. Great to see you in the building. Hopefully you're keeping well, sir. And then we have Kenneth, Tottenham Hotspur. Big up, Kenneth. Hopefully you're keeping well, you madman. He says, hey, David Harris, you were wondering when I am coming over for games. Sheffield United, Fulham and Villa, I'll be there. Come on, you Spurs. Kenneth, see if you can put one of them trips back, my man, and try and get over for the Chelsea game on the 4th of November. That's what I'm going to aim for the day of my birthday. So pretty sure I can make it happen. Family will obviously try and help pitch in to make it happen for me. So, that'd be nice, meet as many people as possible. So see if you can change the dates a little. But big up, Kenneth, my man. Good to see you in the building. Who else have we got here? Loads of people. But look, we're going to keep on moving. Who we got next? We've got the one and only Brad Matthews. Let's get him on, hear what he has to say on everything Tottenham. Brad, how are you this evening, my man?
Oh, good, thanks. Good, yes. Just recovering after my amazing weekend of sport. Watched the cricket, all 2 hours of it over 2 days. It rained there. And then because the Tottenham game clashed with my weekly video call to my mum, I got my mum to call me an hour earlier so I could watch the football. And nice. That got rained up as well. So an absolutely brilliantly well worth weekend for me. But hey, it could be worse.
I think rain has affected everything. I was in a great mood for yesterday's game. Couldn't wait. Had all the nicknames out, everything waiting to go, and it gets called off. But Brad, what I want to start with you on this one, my man, is, Tottenham's pre-season. Are you concerned about the lack of games and minutes that our squad has had over the pre-season compared to any Premier League, other Premier League clubs? And also, the state of it, we're coming back off. We don't know who any idea around what's staying, what's going, what the sort of plans are. Are you a bit concerned?
It's going to be a disadvantage, isn't it, not to have many games before you start the season, because especially when you've got a new manager. If you had, say, one of our old managers, well, then he knows how to play and they know how his system, or majority of them do. But we've got a new manager who's trying a new system, a completely different system to what they've been playing over the last 2 or 3 seasons. Yeah, you need as many games as possible, and it's not going to be good. Okay, there's a lot of arguments about why did we go to Malaysia and Singapore during the monsoon season. There's another argument, why would you have 3 games in different countries? I mean, we all know why. It's money. That's the only reason, it's money. Yeah. So, I have the old school of playing all your friendlies at home or in the same country. But yes, it's a thing. Obviously, the transfer saga goes on, so there's players that he won't see until maybe the season starts. So, no, it's not good. And I get the impression, if you look at his first 11, I think that question was asked earlier, it's literally going to go on what he's seen from previous seasons. I mean, he's probably done his research. You look at the team, well, the front 3 probably pick themselves, Kane, Kulusevski and Son.
Yeah.
It seems that Basuma is going to be that defensive midfielder, number 6. And Maddison's going to get a game. You've got your goalkeeper. Your back 4's different because who's going to play in the back 4? Who knows? But yeah, it's not good. The only thing I would say, and it's a strange sort of caveat to that, is that I don't expect us to be hitting the ground running anyway. I think it's going to take us at least until the end of the year to get to know his system well and to play like you don't have to think where I need to be. Like you're playing your game and you think, where should I be? You do it naturally. This is why I've always predicted that I don't think we'll do very well in the league this season. We'll win games, we'll lose games. But I'm hoping that by the time the FA Cup starts in January, we'll have settled into the system he wants to play. He'll know his first 11 and we'll see what we do in the Cup.
Do you know what? I hear you on that, Brad, but for me, I still think it's up to the club to put the manager in the best possible position to be able to hit the ground running. Because, look, I hear about not hitting the ground running and stuff like that, right? And I think with a new manager, over the first few games, you're going to see variations. You're going to see some good. You're going to see some bad. However, we're talking about modern-day football with billions of pounds at stake. And I've seen it before. We will not give the manager the time. If it comes to October, November, we're not playing well, results are going against us, we will sack this guy. Make no mistake about it.
Yeah.
And that's why, for me, I think it was even more important to get a lot of the business done early so that he could get it work done on pre-season and then head into the Premier League season with the best chance, the best chance possible going as well. with us not having any Europe. It means we can concentrate on the Premier League, which then gives us a chance to be able to try and make up ground on some of them teams ahead of us that have European football that we can use a bit like what Arsenal done last season, right? I'm not saying put us in a position for a title shot or anything like that, but this Ange Postecoglou, it doesn't have to be a complete mediocre reset season for us. There are circumstances where you can get in a manager and hit the ground running, but it's about the ambition behind that, and I just don't feel we've given them that whatsoever.
I think that it could turn out, it could go really, really well. We could do really, really well, but I think I definitely agree with you. I think the way we've prepared for this has been nothing short of a disgrace. The fact that we did doing exactly the same as we did last season. Get a couple of players in early, everyone's really happy, then suddenly it all stops. Yeah. And taking 4, 5, 6 weeks. We're looking at 3 or 4 centre backs. It's not, we've got the ones that everyone knows about, but there's about 3 or 4 we've looked at, and we're still I'm in an hour about. It's not like we're going for players that are 80 or 90 million. These are players that are 30 million, 20 million, whatever. And as I heard you saying earlier about we're maybe we want to get to Kostoba's deal down so we can get the both in. No, we want that. We want him. Your main priority is get that centre back in, and then if you can get Van der Vaart, brilliant. But we need that centre back to hit the ground running. The fact that we got 9 on loan players that are still at the club, that's incredible. Why are they still there? They should have been sold before we even appointed Postecoglou. It's crazy. It's just absolutely crazy. And now they're on the tour. And the other thing is, like, what do we see from I've been looking at Twitter earlier on. What do we see on the Spurs official Twitter account? Older lads flying via some bag manufacturer. So there's a picture of them all getting on the plane with this same backpack. Because they sponsor us. It's just crazy. It's just money. There's no one seems to think about football anymore. It's crazy. I'm trying. I think I said last week. I'm trying not to get stressed out about it. But it is very annoying. Very annoying.
I try, but it's hard not to, because for me, I go into every season wanting the best, expecting the best, and look, it's hard. It's hard. But Brad, what do you make of the club's decision if they were to cash in on someone like Hojbjerg and Kane? Because for me, I then question what we're trying to do, because I get the situation around both guys, right? But surely the whole aim is to strengthen your squad, strengthen your team, to give Ange Postecoglou the best chance going. Because we already know that there's a lot of media around them. We lost to West Ham. Even then, people were laughing, saying this guy's not going to last. And he's not going to get the same grace Conte or Jose Mourinho did with the press because of the history behind them. So, I mean, would you be concerned if we cashed in on Hojbjerg and Kane?
If we sell Hojbjerg, we've got to have a ready-made replacement who is just as good or better. I mean, it's as simple as that Postecoglou, who is our manager, is our coach, is as good. He's actually happy with the deal. And I've heard Conor Gallagher mention that sort of thing. I don't know a lot about Conor Gallagher. Apparently, he's just a young footballer. But reasonably good, I guess. But what you were saying earlier about the African Cup of Nations at the end of the season, they've got to bear that in mind. Because remember what happened last year, albeit because of injuries, we had 2 central midfielders. The rest of the season we had Skip and Papasar. So
that's why I get concerned, Brad, because I feel like everyone is knee-jerking into, sell Hojbjerg. But it's like, hang on a minute, there's too many uncertainties. You've got one player that's not back after the season starts. You've got 2 going off on AFCON. And it's like, and people say, if the price is right. I mean, but at the same time, many people, give out about the club being cheap, this, that, and the other. So then why are we so quick to line their pockets by saying cash in on our best players that are the only players from Tottenham that are wanted?
Yeah, no, I think, and I understand what Mia was saying earlier about, if Hojbjerg wants to leave. But I would say that as much as I know of Hojbjerg, I think if he didn't get the move and he started the season with Tottenham, I think he'd still give his all. I don't think he's the sort of person that wouldn't, But if we're going to sell him, we've got to make sure we got a ready-made replacement that comes in straight away.
Yeah.
You know, we've got to do one or the other. It's you know, we ideally you'd get another player in. You'd sell Hojbjerg, get in Amrabat and Conor Gallagher. You know, in an ideal world, but I mean, I'm you know, knowing that probably ain't going to happen. The Kane situation is different. The Kane situation, I think, is much different. Watching Ellie Gold the other day, and he was saying that according to the people he's spoken to, Kane is quite happy to go with whatever the club does. So if the club accepts a deal in from Bayern Munich, he'll go and play for Bayern Munich. If the club says no, he's quite happy to play at Spurs and see what happens. This is why he hasn't signed the contract, because you look at his position. You know, if he doesn't go to Bayern, he can spend the rest of the half of the season seeing what's going to happen under Ange, and then at the end of the season, he's free anyway. So all this talk about, he hasn't signed a contract, Well, no, would you? It's like, no, he's in that position. I mean, we might hit the ground running, you know, and he might sign a contract before January. Who knows? It's you know, I mean, the only thing that worries me, Dave, is that, and I think Mia picked on this one as well. I do worry that Daniel Levy did say that we're never going to let a Sol Campbell situation happen again. That's the only thing that worries me, that he will suddenly say, well, hang on a minute, we've got to sell him now. I personally would keep Kane. I think he's worth more to the club. But 25, 30 goals a season, he's worth more to the club than any money that comes in for him.
I agree with that.
You know, so I personally, if I was Daniel Levy, which I'm not, thank God, I'd say, well, I wouldn't mind his money, to be honest, but I'd say, you know, no, I'm keeping Kane, because we're better with him than without him. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. You know, that's the chance you take. That's what you do. But so I think they're both different situations with the two players. But I think you know, I mean, a lot of it is media driven. You know, we know that the media want to sell Kane for years. You know, and I think I said to you earlier, you know, like, you know, Harry Kane's wife has been spotted all around Europe looking for houses. It's like, it's crazy. You know, she's in Paris, she's in Germany. Oh, she'll probably be in Saudi Arabia next. You know,
Northern Lights next, Brad.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's actually, and you know, and they're looking for a place in near the Chelsea training ground. All this sort of stuff. It's all rubbish. And as for the thing about Joe Lewis, since when has Joe Lewis given a flying fuck about football? You know, and then suddenly he's telling Levy to sell him. It's crap, absolute rubbish. You know, it's just the media. The media, I think, as someone said earlier, it's just, you know, they want to find another. There's another angle. They'll find anything to sort of say, you know, to push the narrative that Harry Kane's going to leave Spurs.
Wouldn't surprise me if Levy's dog is used next. Levy's poodle, you know, he barked and he said this through translation. It's absolutely a joke. But Brad, let's take Paul O'Connor's question here. He says, do you think Ange has watched all our games last season and that he would have a fair idea about who he wants and who he doesn't want? Do you think we will see a mass clear out when we return from tour?
Well, I'll answer the first part of that question. I'm pretty sure that Ange would have watched as many games as he possibly could, even before, you know, he officially started. I mean, that's his job effectively. He's a football, you know, he's a football manager. He needs to know what his new team's going to be. So I'd say that's what I said earlier. That I think based on that, if he doesn't get the player, you know, if he doesn't get enough time with the team in friendlies and that sort of thing, he'll have a rough idea what his first 11 is going to be. So I'm pretty sure he's got a fair idea, and I think he's just, you know, as far as Ndombele and Lascelles, so I think he's just being, let's give them a go, let's see what they're like. When they get back from the tour, will there be a mass clear out? Realistically, out of the 9 loan players, it's 7, isn't it? Because you got Jed Spence and Udogie. So the 7 players I've got there. It's unrealistic to say we're suddenly going to sell all 7. Well, we sold one of them, we sold Harry Winks, but it's unrealistic to think they're all going to go. I think they'll still be with us.
For me, Brad, I think, look, there has to be a clear out when he gets back, right? You can only register, I think it's 25 players. We brought out 31, 32 out in preseason, more than what we did last year as well. So there has to be a clear out regardless. But like, this is my problem. Like, Ange would have known exactly who he wanted out and wanted in before he went on that preseason tour. People forget that there was, you know, we were told that there was transfer meetings that took place, you know, before Ange even started. at Tottenham Hotspur. You know, that's why he was in and around the building and stuff like that before he even officially started at Tottenham. So this is my point. Like, you know, we're putting him in a position where he has to bring everybody because we haven't done anything for him to, you know, for him not to bring everybody. And I'm sure if you're Ange Postecoglou, you would have liked more done by now. You would have liked at least centre-backs in now with some others gone. You know, the fact that he comes out after the West Ham game and he says, we need centre-back. And we're working on that. You know, it's like, he didn't just discover that after the West Ham game. And that's what I was saying. All this stuff going into pre-season, well, if Ange wants it and this, that, and the other about, you know, oh, well, we have to give everyone a chance now. It's a load of bollocks. You know, some players are not going to produce anything they haven't already sort of produced over the 3-4 years that we've given them an opportunity here too. So for me, that's why I find the whole thing a pointless exercise. And for me, you know, Jim made a great comment earlier on. How can Ange Postecoglou possibly know his best 11 when he knows there's holes in the team that need to be filled? He can't, because he's already spoke about centre-back. So anyone he puts in that centre-back position, he doesn't actually want. It's trial and error.
Yeah, I think when you say best 11, I guess it's, you know, his best 11 with what he's got, effectively, you know, and he has to make a decision. So as far as the 7 loan players, I mean, he would obviously have been watching a lot of Tottenham games, but I'm not so sure he would have seen as much of the loan players because they're playing in all different parts of Europe and that. So he might not have seen as much of them as he would like to, and that's why he's going to give them a chance. But, I mean, as far as the centre-back's position is concerned, you know, I mean, I didn't get a chance to see the live games now that I'm bloody working, but when I watched the highlights, just the 3 goals, I mean, they're just carbon copies of literally every Tottenham goal we conceded last season. Yeah. You know, someone at the far post not picked up, someone not being able to out-jump someone, head the ball away, you know, pressing up and then not concentrating, letting the guy go through, you know, and it's you know, and you know, when I looked at the stats and, you know, 30 shots on goal and West Ham had, 3 or 4 and scored 3, it says it all. So, you know, if I tell that from 7 minutes of highlights, you know, Ange is going to certainly know we need the centre-backs that can play. So yeah, it's but the thing about Tottenham, you know, we never, you know, we should have had a director of football in that first job should have been finding buyers for the 7 loan players. Yeah. You know, that should have been, but have we got a director of football? No. Have we got?
I think we're still waiting on start, aren't we?
We haven't even. We've had a guy employed for 2 or 3 seasons whose speciality is getting naming rights. Are we any closer to naming rights? No.
Well, that's Todd Klein. Todd Klein, yeah.
Yeah. You know, and like Levy's got this sort of thing. Oh, what a great businessman. Well, that's not very good, is it? The last 3 or 4 things, you know. So it's just Tottenham all over. So I'm trying not to let it get me down, but we've seen it all before, and you know. I mean, I'm excited about the season. Don't get me wrong. I'm excited about the season because I think we're going to see some really entertaining football. I think we probably will get 2 centre-backs in before the season starts or certainly before the transfer window shuts, which is not ideal, but I'm afraid we're going to have to go with it. So I'm excited about the season. I think we will do good things eventually. We obviously got a January to get some players in if we need to. You know, so you know, I just want someone to explain me why we're the 3rd largest revenue making team in the world, any sporting team in the world, and yet we scrimp and save on deals. It's just it's crazy to me.
Oh, it's a piss take, Brad. It's an absolute piss take. Look, you know, as much as we give out about it, we're still going to be here in 10 years' time talking about Tottenham and still loving the club anyway. You know, I wish I couldn't, Brad. At times, I wish I couldn't, but we can't. But Brad. Blue Sofa Songs, you know, tell people what it's about, my man.
Right, okay. Well, it's if you don't know by now, it's totally unrelated to football. It's my other passion in life is music. So I've got a music channel called Blue Sofa Songs. They're all my own compositions, starting from the early days where I'm singing live in front of or trying to sing and play guitar in front of a camera phone to now where I've actually got recording equipment and I can actually get some decent stuff out there. So if you go onto my web, if you go onto it, there's a section called favorites. They're the songs I'm pleased with. There's a DAW, you know, well done songs. I used to do a song every 2 weeks. Now it's every 4. It's at the 4th Friday in every month. So there should be one out this Friday, hopefully. The songs are just my feelings on things, experiences. There's a couple of funny ones in there, a bit of politics, which you may or may not agree with. But yeah, it's a real passion of mine. I love doing it. It's a thing of joy when a song comes out. And if you do have a look, just do the old good things, click, like, subscribe, share, all those sort of wonderful things. And thank you to everyone in the chat and everyone that's done that and has seen the videos and made really, really nice comments on that. It really means a lot to me. And thank you, David and Jack, for giving me the chance to publicise it. But,
no, of course, Brad. I remember, what was it? During lockdown.
I will make a promise, even though it's not football related. I will definitely make a Spurs Cup final song if we make a Cup final this season. So that's a promise.
I'm looking forward to that. Just I remember me and you towards the end of lockdown, and I was telling you, no harm putting your music out there. Go for it, see what happens. So I'm delighted. Everybody, please get over there, check out Brad's channel, check out his music. It makes him happy, so it's going to make you happy. Brad, big yourself up, my man. I appreciate your time this evening, and yeah, hopefully that job's going all right for you as well.
Yeah, no, it's going well. Today was my first day. They allowed me to work from home today, which went pretty well. So
nice.
So I reckon, and I've already been out with the manager, and they're sort of work hard, play hard people. So that suits me down to the ground. So yeah, nice. So far so good.
Nice. That's the job. So if we see you on hungover, we blame the boss. Well, Brad, beat yourself up, my man. Thanks for your time this evening.
Cheers, David. Have a good night. See everybody.
See you, Brad. See you, my man. Everybody, big up Brad. Give him a lot of love in the comments. Absolutely love that guy. Really nice guy as well. I had the pleasure of spending a bit of time with him outside of this when I was over in London last. Well, actually a couple of times. Very, very nice guy. What you see is what you get with him. So make sure you get over there and smash the subscribe on the channel. What an absolute legend. Got a couple of super chats, and then we've got Kate to get on next. We have THFC tonight. Jarmatron. So sorry, can't come on tonight. Something came up. No worries at all, my man. We'll get you again, brother. Big yourself up, Dermot. You didn't even have to put in a super chat to say that, but I appreciate it, my man. Absolute legend. And then we have Brandon Troller says, Sir Cap of the Flat. Think we should avoid countries with subpar infrastructure in future for pre-season tours or continue to help their development catch 22. Look, this whole thing that clubs are going out to these countries to help development, it's a lot of bollocks. All it is a new revenue stream for them. That's all they ever see it as. They're going out there to try and put football, the first and foremost, because if they do, they get more TV revenue, more merch revenue, etc., etc., etc. That's why clubs go out to these places. It's nothing to do with trying to, help them or help their countries develop. Nothing to do with that whatsoever. It's all a money-making exercise. It's new revenue streams, new markets, untapped markets, and that's exactly why them clubs go out there. To be honest with you, and nothing as otherwise, in my opinion. But look, when they go out to these places, I can't believe we didn't even is there anywhere in Thailand that has a roof or something like that? So if the monsoon did happen, the game could still go ahead. Very, very poor plan around that regard. But why would they care when they're still going to get the money for being out there anyway? You know what I mean? You got to understand, a lot of owners involved in football now, they're not like what it used to be, where your local millionaires took over the club. He supports the club. He loves it. And he wants to see them win trophies. What you've got coming in now is money, man. They couldn't give a toss about the football. They couldn't give a toss about the club. It's all about money to them now. That's the whole difference between back when I was growing up to now, is that the owners are completely different. It's all about money. It's a joke. But yeah, for me, I still think that we'll still go out to a lot of these countries. And look, rightly so, it's nice for everybody to have a chance to see Tottenham in action. Like when we were living over here, Ireland came over here a couple of times. Remember them playing Shamrock Rovers, etc., etc. It was nice, that they came over here, because at the time, of course, you couldn't get over there, over to England, because the I was working, me, I was only a kid, this, that, and the other. So, it makes it nice for all these other people to be able to see the club around the world. But let's not be fooled about it's about developing them. It's nowhere near it. It's a new revenue source, new revenue income for them in an untapped market, my man. But big up Brandon Troller. See, you bring out the best of me in these super chats, my man. You really do. Really appreciate the support, my man. And hopefully things are going well. How's things over there in America with you, my man? Hopefully you're keeping well. Hopefully you still got all that crazy hair and all that crazy energy for the new season, my man. Big yourself up, brother. And really appreciate the support, my man. But look, let's keep this moving. We're ticking along nicely today. Tickety-boo. And next one on is Kate. Let's hear what she has to say. Kate, how are you keeping, my dear?
Hello, Dave. Do you know what? You've got the smiliest eyes I've ever seen. I was sitting backstage thinking, I'm so cheesed off with Tottenham, and I look at your smiley eyes and the world seems a better place.
Do you know what it is? A lot of people say to me, I smile with my eyes, right? When I'm angry, because they go like that. And when I'm smiling, it looks like I'm cabbaged. It's hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious. Okay, where do you want to kick this off today? What do you want to talk about?
Good Lord. Where do we start? I just don't know. I mean, Angry Kate's been out again today. Should we start with the centre-back debacle?
Okay, let's go.
Right. Well, I mean, if Tapsoba's our number one target, why can't we, for once in our history, behave like a big team and get him through the door? They're not asking £100 million. Do you know what I mean? For a club as rich as Tottenham to get a player like Tapsoba in, who, to me, should be our number one target. I'd be satisfied with him and pretty much anyone else. I just want him in the door. But we're tallying around, and now Villa have come in and signed Diaby, who's obviously another one of their great players. Are they going to let Tapsoba go as well? Who knows? People are getting their business done so quick. Fulham losing Mitrovic, go straight out, get a striker. And we're just sitting there twiddling our thumbs. Levy's over in Thailand. When, who's here doing this recruitment? Who's doing the business? It's just an absolute shambles.
Yeah. Are you surprised that the business has completely stopped while we've been out on pre-season tour?
Yes. I'm surprised and not surprised. I'm not surprised because it happens every time. The defence just gets ignored. I'm surprised because I can't understand how they can even contemplate us going into a new season with the team that we've got. They're just not good enough. I get lost for words. I get so cross. We're so poor at the back. Everyone's saying, I can't wait to watch this attacking football. And yeah, maybe we scored 4 goals, but we're going to let in 6. Easy. Our defence is absolutely shambolic. Yeah. I just can't get my head around why it's being ignored.
But do you know what, Kate? I've been questioning this for years. It's not like it's a new problem that was sprung on us last season, right? Since Toby and Jan went, Dyer was always way off the pace. Sanchez was always way off the pace. This is a problem since they've left. And even before then, even before Toby and Jan sort of was coming apart, they already knew that they were getting on in age and that they should already be out there looking for the predecessor. And me personally, I actually struggle to understand why they won't do business at centre back. They've done it. They've done absolutely everything around this club, changed everything. They've signed in multiple positions, but they will not buy centre backs.
I know.
Partly it's down to the amount of players we're carrying that position and the wages they're on, that the club don't really want to go beyond that. But I mean, at some stage, you've got to admit you make a mistake and just go and do the business anyway, right?
Of course you have. I mean, I saw a guy on your stream earlier with Jack saying that Tosin Adarabioyo is slow, and I was reading his stats, and that's one thing he really isn't. In Premier League, in the Premier League last season, the first game of the season, he was the fastest defender in the league. He's not slow. He's got pace. I think he's massively overrated, and I'd be over the moon if he comes to Spurs. But we need a Tapsoba alongside him. It's no good bringing him in and Lenglet or even Nelson. I'm not convinced by Nelson either. So I think Tapsoba needs to be the sort of the centrepiece, and then we bring in others to complement him.
Do you know what? Just on the pace comment, right? I get with the way we're playing, right? Pace is ideal, especially for that recovery. But let's be honest about it. It's not the be-all and end-all. As soon as that ball's put in behind and they're onside anyway, they're in on your goal. Doesn't matter how. You could have Usain Bolt there. He ain't catching them.
That's right.
So for me, I don't get bogged down in the whole pace thing across the back line, because the reality is once the ball's in behind, they're in. It doesn't matter how much pace you have. You're not going to stop them. So look, Adarabioyo, I agree with you. I think he's underrated. I think he's a good player personally. I think he's brilliant on the ball, strong in the air, and stuff like that. But it's not enough. Just him on his own is not enough. Plus, he usually plays on the right-hand side, not on the left. If he comes in, we ask them to play on the left, and there will be teething problems. Could it be similar to Tanganga, that he can't use that left boot of his? Then it becomes a problem.
This is Tottenham's problem, right? We buy players and play them in the wrong positions. Everyone was saying play. I mean, I saw someone the other day say play Romero as a number 6. It was like, why? Just get a number 6 in. Stop playing players in the wrong position. Nobody else does it. It's just a joke.
I'm sick of it as well. I mean, look what we've done with Dyer. Centre mid, centre back, Davies, centre back, left side of centre back, left wing. It's like just buy players for these positions and stop. Just accept that some of these guys are not good enough. It doesn't matter how many positions you put them in. It does not matter. They're not good enough. It's not. Things ain't going to change. It's like the club think, if we move him from centre back to left back, all of a sudden he's going to be 10 times better on the ball. We're going to see this he's never had before. It's like, Jesus Christ. There's only one man I've seen change, and that's Popeye when he drinks spinach. You know what I mean? It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. It just winds me up.
And you, Dave. You're the same when you eat Wheatos. You change.
True. Jim, Spurs till I die. So smiley eyes. What a gorgeous guest you have on.
Bless you.
He also doubles down saying we can't start the season with the same defence. And this is the problem, Jim. I mean, it's the defence that's conceded 63 goals across the Premier League last season. They've had long enough now. They also done it under Conte or under Jose Mourinho, under Nuno. It's like style of football and how you approach the game is never going to change these guys' ability. It's just not. And it's even harder to defend when you've got less protection in front of them than what Conte gave them. So they're going to be even more ripped apart.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say, I forgot what I was going to say now. But it's like the fan base, they say, so-and-so, say Tango and Ndombele. I know I'm changing the subject, but maybe he'll flourish in Ange's system. He's got all this skill. He's got all this ability. I've had it today with Richarlison. But he's so passionate. They're not good enough. These players aren't good enough. Do I think Ndombele will become a baller? No. Do I think Richarlison's good enough? No. I'm still baffled that we even signed him for 60 million when even back then we had the massive hole in our defence. The club has got everything back to front and upside down. I don't understand the thinking behind it.
Do you know what? It's just annoying, right? Because they announced Ange Postecoglou, so they give the fans the style of football they're looking for. They double down by bringing in Vicario, changing goalkeeper, which fans were looking for. They bring in Maddison, which fans have been looking for since he was at Coventry. We bring in Manor Solomon, and we're starting to get a bit of depth in certain areas. And you're like, right, here we go, a bit of positivity. Now follow that through. Then comes the hike in ticket prices. Then no centre-backs. Then the whole disaster around the pre-season tour. 45 minutes in their legs each before the Premier League starts in 18 days so far. Games cancelled. Players there that shouldn't be there. I mean, does it make you nervous going into the season, especially with the unknowns like Vicario? We don't know how he's going to take to the Premier League. The defence, we don't know how that's going to settle into the Premier League. Ange Postecoglou, first time ever in the Premier League. Midfield, if you're selling Hojbjerg, you're sort of making a change in there and stuff like that. So for me, and if you lose Kane as well, there's a lot of uncertainties going into the season. I'm actually starting to get worried. My positivity has sort of been drained. I'm starting to get concerned now.
Yeah, literally a couple of weeks ago when we signed Maddison, I was so looking forward to this new season because we had all the links with VDV and Tapsoba, and I was so excited. I am dreading it. Absolutely dreading it the way it's going. The pre-season has been an absolute shambles. I mean, Villa had the right idea. I think are they in America? And there's Chelsea, there's 4 Newcastle, Brighton, and they're playing like a mini tournament or something. But they're all in the same place and they've got regular games. Who chooses to go to Australia in the middle of winter, Thailand in the middle of monsoon season? Yeah, for the money. But I mean, that's not, to me, every year it's becoming more and more apparent that Tottenham Hotspur Football Club is just this big headache for Daniel Levy. He'd like it to just be Tottenham Entertainment Group. Forget the football club. It's just a by the way. But for us fans, that's all we're interested in. I don't give a monkeys we've got this fabulous stadium and that we've got the best training ground. Where's the trophies?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Like that's the aim of football, right? Look, it depends what you want from football. Some people want to go on the weekend and just be entertained. Someone like me who, I grew up, I played the sport, I followed sport all my life. It's like, for me, it's always about winning. It doesn't matter how you do it. There's many ways to skin a cat, just as long as you win. Sometimes you have to dig in deep, sit back and get over the line. Sometimes you can go out and play the right football and go and get the result. But it's all about winning at the end of the day. And the longer this goes on under the current ownership, I don't think they care as much about winning as much as they sort of pretend to. Anyway, let's answer Tin Man 007's chat here, Kate. And big up, Tin Man, by the way. Great to see you in the building. Where have you been, my long-lost brother? All them times we spent during lockdown having discussions back and forth and whatever else. It's good to see you back. Hopefully you are keeping well, sir. And he says, we need at least 2 centre-backs, not Langley, and need a replacement for Hojbjerg, and now maybe a replacement for Kane. What are we doing? We are embarrassing. And I mean, this is what I've sort of been saying all along, right? That there's been a lot of discussions around Kane, Hojbjerg, Romero, fullbacks, this, that, and the other. But we're trying to walk before, or we're trying to run before we can walk. Like, surely we just got to address the obvious issues before you go and hit anywhere else. And then would you look at us selling Hojbjerg and potentially Kane? We're weakening the squad. We're not strengthening it. And
yeah,
you agree with him, man, that it's actually starting to become embarrassing at this point.
Yeah, I mean, for me, we shouldn't be considering selling any of our first team really until, apart from the defence, till that's concrete, solid, done. The Hojbjerg thing, my personal opinion is I'd love to see Douglas Luiz, and with Villa now being linked to Amrabat, which obviously I would have loved him at Tottenham, but nothing's happened there. I think Douglas Luiz is a superb player. His stats are fantastic. For me, he is a step up from Hojbjerg. So I would be quite happy if we could get him in. But to be honest, that's just a by the way. I just want the defence sorted. Langley coming back to Tottenham is literally giving me palpitations at the thought of it. How can they possibly bring him back when he's been part of one of the worst defences we've ever had? Do you know what I mean? It's just, it literally beggars belief. I've got no nails left today. I've bitten them all down.
Do you know what? On Langley, if he was to come in as a backup to what we've got, I can accept that, because I've always made the argument he's better than Dyer, better than Sanchez, etc. Right? And it doesn't matter whether him and Romero, when you're playing alongside a Dyer and he's making the mistakes he does, it pulls everyone else out of position, panics everyone else, it just causes complete chaos. But I've always argued, you bring in Langley, you bring in another left-sided centre-back, and then you bring in a backup for someone like Romero. You've got 4 solid options going into the season. So if we can get in someone like, Tosin, or not Tosin, sorry, what's that guy from Tapsoba, which we should be getting in. And if you don't, if they can't get Van der Ven, then you bring in Langley. There's your 2 left-sided centre-backs, and you bring in Tosin as a backup to someone like Romero. I'd be happy with that. But the reality is, we shouldn't still be sitting here talking about Adebayo. He's been on the market for quite some time and has 1 year left on his contract. You can go and get that done early if you want. Van der Ven, you could have gone and got earlier. Tapsoba, you're pissing about with a price because you're trying to be cheap. You're coming in way below the asking price. Just come in with the price and get him in and give the manager what he needs going forward. But Tim, man, big yourself up, my man. Really appreciate support. Let us know what you thought on mine and Kane's thoughts on that. And yeah, good to see you in the house, brother. Great to see you in the house. Kate, anything else you want to talk about?
I was just going to say I feel so sorry for Ange. I mean, he's on the back foot straight away, and I just can't help but feel he's going to be another manager on the chopping block when things don't go right. I can see by Christmas, if we've got this defence, our results being so poor, and no matter how pretty the football is, if we're losing game after game, fans are going to start screaming, and he's going to be another lamb to the slaughter. And I just don't know how long this can carry on. This merry-go-round of manager after manager with the same problem year after year. Yeah. It's just, I mean, if I was him, I'd be already thinking, Jesus, what have I done? Unless they do something. Yeah, I was going to say, unless they do something this week, which they need to do it this week. It's getting so close now. I mean, if I was him, I'd be thinking, what have I done? Get me back to Australia.
And that's what concerns me, right? Because I really like Ange Postecoglou. I followed him at Celtic, and stuff like that. And I really like the guy, and I really want the guy to succeed. But the reality is, if he ain't winning games, no matter how much I sit here, call for patience, I hear me a call for patience, Sean, Sava, people like that, Jack as well. Doesn't matter. You know, but there's so many more Spurs fans outside of us that will not tolerate it, that will call for his head, and it will create pressure. Although we knew a lot of the problems underneath Antonio Conte about the back line. I said last season, Antonio Conte's asked for a defender. We haven't done it enough. It's going to come back and haunt us and create havoc this season. And it created more havoc than what I actually originally predicted.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like the same is going to happen under Ange Postecoglou if we do not sort that mess out. And we're just going to be back to square one.
Yeah.
So I just it's very important we get it done. I'd argue now it's probably, look, it's better late than never, I suppose, but it's too late. It's too late in my opinion.
Small club mentality, I'm afraid. That's what it is. Not going out and getting your number one target. And now everyone will be thinking Tottenham are getting desperate. Let's stuck another couple of million on, you know, because they desperately need centre backs. Or it's just bonkers.
I said to my dad there yesterday, or was it today? I said, Dad, you know, why couldn't you let me pick what club I wanted? And he goes, Dave, I wanted you to suffer the same way I do, to realise that life isn't always about roses. So, you know, I got him to thank for that, Kate. I've got him to thank for that. But, Kate, why don't you tell people what's coming up on the channel, what it's all about, my dear?
Yeah, it's just me, just a girl who loves Spurs, chatting about all the latest news and rumours, and we have a bit of fun. Usually I'm Monday to Friday, 1 o'clock, but I'm not on tomorrow or Thursday. No, hang on, what's tomorrow? Yeah, Tuesday or Wednesday, but normally it's 1 o'clock. Every month I do a Sunday night show called the Sunday Sesh, which is no football at all. It's just a chill out zone. We did our first one last night, which was hilarious. So yeah, it's just a different perspective. And sometimes there's happy Kate and sometimes there's angry Kate. Today was angry Kate.
No, look, I love all the different perspectives. For me, it makes the conversation even better. You can go into things deeper, and it brings out the best of everyone that's making their points, and that's what it's all about. And plus, you'll see me over there this week over there at some point. So Make sure you get over there and smash the subscribe button. A breath of fresh air to the community, and you know, having as many opinions as possible is always a good thing. So please get over there and show the support. Kate, thank you for your time this evening.
Thanks, Dave, and speak to you soon.
No, we'll see you again. I'm delighted with that smiling eyes comment. It's boosted my ego. So thank you.
See you later.
See you, Kate. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Everybody, please get over there and check out Kate's channel. New on the scene. Well, she's not new. She's been around about a month or so now. But, you know, very, very nice woman. Always has a lot to say with her opinions, which is what we like, guys, right? So get over there and smash that subscribe button. But look, we'll keep it moving. Big up 24C. Good to see you in the build, my man. Hopefully you are keeping well, sir. Also, Erwin from County Waterford. Great to see you in the building, and hopefully you are keeping well. Who else have we got here? The outline coming in the building. Big up that. Hopefully you're keeping well, my man. Hopefully you had a nice dinner. And also big up me, as she says, big up Mr. Harris Long. Everyone big him up. And also thank him for my lifelong work of pain. So no matter what I do in life, or if I ever become successful, it doesn't matter. I'll always have Tottenham to pull me down to reality. And big up Jim. No worries at all. You know, anyone that wants to come over here and contribute to the channel in terms of panels and comments and whatever else it may be, I'll always, you know, return the favor, you know, and help support people. So big up, Jim, my man. Really appreciate it. Now, where we got one here missing from Tim Man. Big up, Tim Man. And he says, when did Aston Villa get a new training ground and new stadium to make these types of signings? Isn't that how it works? We just have zero ambition. Look, you know, they sold Jack Grealish for 100 million. They went out, and since then, they've just been on a spending spree. But they also realised, Tim Man, they've got Unai Emery, right? When was the last time Aston Villa were anywhere near Europe? They're in Europe now, and they're going to want to push on and get to the next stage of Europe. So that's why they're doing the business they are, my man. Like you said, it comes down to ambition. It comes down to wanting to restore the club back to where Villa once were in their heyday, right? And that's why they're making these signings to back Unai Emery, so, you know, so that he can help, you know, push them further up the league, and hopefully they can get back into being one of the top 6 clubs. And when you look at us, You're sitting there pissing about, and we've got more to prove than anybody, right? We want to get back to European spots. We want to get back to being in the Champions League. We want to stay inside the top 6. So we have more point to prove than anybody, but yet we're pissing about more than anybody. It's absolutely a joke. Even last January, Bournemouth showed more ambition than Tottenham. That fucked me right off, if you want me to be brutally honest. Little Bournemouth, seaside town, showed more ambition than Tottenham Hotspur, big stadium, right in the heart of London. It's a joke, Tim, man. It's a joke. Look, like you said, Tim, man, it just comes down to ambition. What do you want? What do you want from your club at the end of the day? It's sickening. It's sickening, Tim, man. Like I was saying earlier, Tim, man, my threshold or my tolerance level for shit and excuses is already maxed out now. There is no more. You either do the business or you just shut up. I'm sick of it at this point. But big up, Tim Man 007. Like I said, great to see you. Let me know how life's been, though. Put in the comments. Let me know how your life has been recently, brother. Big yourself up. Let me have Todd Josh become a YouTube member. He says, how do I join the stream? Give me 1 second, Todd Josh. Let me know. Is it a fan show membership you just grabbed or a flat cap? Give me 1 second. I'm just going in to check. No Jacko this evening, so things take me a little bit longer, brother. Let me check. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Where is it? My test. Flat cap. Oh, man, it's the wrong one. It's the fan show one, and then it's up in the community section. Look, I've got a lot going on right now. It's only me, but if you email me, I'll make sure I get you on the next one or wherever else. Or if I get to it while one of the guests is on, I'll fucking link you up if you want to come on, brother. Big up, Todd Josh. And, hopefully you enjoy the season along coming with the, Fantasy Football League, which is what you get with the Flat Cap member. If you did want to upgrade to the Fan Show membership, though, that comes with a monthly quiz right throughout the end of the season with a monthly prize or with a prize at the end of the season, etc., plus all the fan shows. But big up, Josh. Just let me know either way. Even if you email me, man, I'll sort you out with the link or whatever. No bother at all. So big up, Josh. Really appreciate the support on the channel. Tyler, are you there, brother? See if Tyler's in the back end here. Tyler. No, he's not there. Oh, he is there. Let's get him on. Tyler, how you keeping, my man?
How you doing, Dave?
I'm good. Yourself? Nice day there, yeah? Looks like it's very sunny.
Yeah, it's nice. Finally, I'm back in Florida from my vacation in the mountains. Sadly, nice and hot here, but...
Wherever you were hiking the other day looked absolutely quality, lad. It looked very, very peaceful.
Yeah, it was lovely.
Very peaceful. Just quickly, King Huddle says, look at this way, Dave. We got to see Huddle, Ardiles, Waddle, Janola, Gascoigne, Bell, Berbatov, and play in our shirt. What? Look, to that regard, I agree with you. We are privileged, but, I'd like a longer list of names, to be honest with you, King, but I get it, my man. But look, Tyler, where do you want to kick this off? There's so much shit going on. I don't even know where to start. We can talk about preseason, transfers, centre-backs, Tottenham being slow in the market. Where do you want to start?
Yeah, let's start with the midfield. Start with Hojbjerg, for example. With all the rumors going on, and how Mia was saying that if he wants to leave, go ahead, let him leave. She didn't want someone here that doesn't want to be here. But I do not think Hojbjerg doesn't want to be here. I think he does want to be here and fight for his spot. We know what we're getting with Hojbjerg. He's a solid player. And, if you look at our other midfielders, Lo Celso, he's had a horrible attitude. Obviously, we got a new manager coming in. It's looking like his style of football, it's going to suit him well. But, he gets benched one game, he throws a little fit, and he could be wanting to leave again. And Ndombele, we know his attitude. We know that it's hard for him to keep fit, so we don't know what's going to happen. Skip, I just don't think is good enough. Sarri's young. I think he's very good. I think I said it last week. He has the most potential out of all our midfielders. But with Hojbjerg, we know exactly what we're getting. He's a solid player. He works his ass off. And I do think he wants to be here and fight for it. But the problem is, it's looking like... Well, I know Ange was going to start in the next game, but it's looking like maybe Ange is looking to move on from him because he doesn't know if he's going to give him a full starting role. And obviously, Hojbjerg, after starting for the past 3 or 4 seasons, I think he wants to stay with getting a lot of game time. So, if Ange does want to sell him, obviously, Hojbjerg probably would be fine with leaving. But I think he does want to stay here and fight.
Interesting, because Look, I see it both ways. For me, I don't think Ange would have put Hojbjerg in the starting lineup yesterday, which looks like it's sort of in and around his preferred 11 if he didn't think Hojbjerg was good enough to sort of fit the system or play the system. But again, if Hojbjerg, for me, I think Hojbjerg will end up challenging with Basuma for the number 6. And I do think Hojbjerg might sort of lose out, right? But for me, it's about strength and depth. I'd rather have Hojbjerg there than someone like Ollie Skip. But, I don't know. For me, I think I'd rather have that insurance policy there going into the season with someone like Hojbjerg than going into it with all the unknowns around other, players like Ndombele and Celso, because everyone's so quick to say, cash in on Hojbjerg, but there's more to it than monetary value. You're talking about leadership. If things don't go right with Ndombele or Celso and you do give them a chance and they revert back to type, at least you've got someone like Hojbjerg to sort of still come back in and at least give it his all. Okay, it may not have the flair that people would like him to, but you know exactly what you're going to get. And for me, there could be a period where Ange Postecoglou might have to return to that. Plus, he's a leader. So for me, I think there's more to this than just monetary value. I think I'd rather keep him for this season and then maybe have that discussion next season.
Yeah, 100%. And with Bentancur being out for a couple months, and like you said, with Sarr and Basuma going to be leaving for AFCON in what is it, January?
Yeah.
We cannot be messing around. I mean, yes, if we do sell Hojbjerg and get another midfielder in, okay, if it ends up being an improvement. But what is it that we're going to sell Hojbjerg, buy another midfielder, but where are we going to get that money from? If we won't even pay the damn money for the center backs, what are we going to sell Hojbjerg and get a midfielder in and leave the center backs as is still? I'll be fucking pissed.
Do you trust the club there, Tyler, to get someone in better than Hojbjerg?
No, I mean,
that's the whole idea of it, right? If you're going to sell Hojbjerg, it's to upgrade.
Yeah, what are we going to get? Douglas Luiz? Villa's going to make us pay probably a shit ton for him. And
do you think Douglas Luiz is an upgrade, though, Tyler?
I just don't know if he is an upgrade. I don't know how much. As a 6, I mean, I don't know, maybe. And he is a little bit better on the ball, but it's not like some crazy upgrade. Like Douglas Luiz isn't some amazing midfielder that's going to come in and start right away and he's going to improve our midfield. I just don't see that happening. Plus, I think they would make us spend a lot of money, being that we're fighting for the same exact European positions as them. And they're going ahead and doing the business, getting their targets. They got Diaby and Pau Torres, while we're sitting here. I've just I don't even know. We have our center back. We've been agreed deals with these guys, not with the club, but personal terms. Yeah. And we just aren't paying the money for some odd reason. I mean, Tapsoba should have been in a long time ago.
I couldn't agree more with you. I don't get what I can understand, right? Look, negotiations are a part of football, right?
Yeah.
But our negotiations are so protracted. They take so long. It just becomes frustrating. And actually, I'd argue it takes the gloss or the excitement off the signing when it comes, because you've heard about it for a month and a half, and all the excitement you initially get is worn off by the time it actually comes in, because it's just more relief than anything.
And I mean, with Madison, the only reason that deal got done so quick is because Leicester got relegated, and they need to, get rid of some of their players. And obviously, they respect Madison, everything he's done for the club, so they probably took a little bit cheaper of probably what they would have liked, just so he could go to the club he wanted to. And obviously, we ended up giving him winks in return, basically. I don't know how, thank God, but. Jeez. And then with Vicario, he's coming from not a big club, so it's not like we had to negotiate with him. With Raya, there was a little bit of negotiating had to happen, so we just said fuck it with him. Yeah. And then obviously Solomon was a free. So what have we genuinely done? We haven't done. There has been no negotiating done. When there has to be negotiating, it goes to shit because he can't negotiate. He tries to get everything he wants. And he won't pay the money that the clubs are asking for. It's bullshit. Everyone else has spent. Arsenal, they could have just said, fuck it, and let Man City take Rice from them. No, they ended up putting down the money. They knew exactly who they wanted. Did they overpay? Hell yeah, they overpaid. I'm sure they realized that. But they got the player they wanted, and he's a good leader, and I'm sure he'll end up being fine for them. Yeah. But what the hell are we doing here still with no center backs? It's mind-boggling.
I don't know. Someone must have something on Daniel Levy in that position because he just refuses to buy in that position. And it's been a position of neglect at this club since Toby and Jan left. You know, we all knew looking at Sanchez that he wasn't going to be good enough to fill them boots. We all knew Dyer was never going to be good enough to fill them boots, but yet we keep persisting with it. Look, Sanchez could be gone, which is good. He could be on his way to Spartak Moscow, and there is a chance that they might be able to reach that 67. I was about to sound like a choir girl there going into a song, but reach that 67k a week that he's on, because a lot of them Russian clubs are owned by oligarchs, so they might just be able to meet the wages. So there is a chance there. Although equally, I wouldn't blame Davinson Sanchez if he didn't want to move to Russia right now either. But look, Charlie, what do you think of the whole preseason thing as well? I mean, game cancelled yesterday. Look, you sort of blame the club. You can sort of not blame the club. You know, 45 minutes of game time into people that, you know, and that we're hoping to go into this season and carry us. And it's sort of like it's hindered our transfer business. We're carrying a lot of players that we thought would be gone right now. And a lot of my excitement is gone. As much as I enjoyed the football on display against West Ham, as much as I enjoyed watching us do some stuff one touch, which is what I've always wanted to sort of see. The same problems, it was just a proof to me that the same problems are still there. And until you address centre-back, it's going to be an issue. But what do you make of this whole preseason tour? Because it does look like it's sort of starting to enter a bit of a debacle. You look at, like, you know, a lot of Premier League clubs went out to America, right? And they're doing the preseason out there. We chose not to. We chose to go out to sort of Thailand and stuff like that in terms of trying to hit a new market, new revenue, etc. But it's just ended up being one big disaster.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's like, obviously it's not the smartest thing, you know, monsoon season, whatever. But, you know, obviously there's Spurs fans everywhere. They want to get as much money and go to a bunch of different places every summer just to, you know, bring in more fans, bring in more money. But we ended up getting fucked over for it. So obviously, as of right now, only playing one game, 45 minutes each player. Some players haven't played yet, whether it's because of injury or not. And then players that have gotten minutes should have been gone already, like Sanchez, Davies. So it's a bit concerning for sure. And then our next game is a bunch of random players we're basically playing against. You know, at least it'll be good for confidence, right?
Yeah, I suppose. Look, you know, I expect us to at least bang in about 10, if you want me to be brutally honest. I mean, I see Bayern Munich slapping teams, 27-0 or something like that. So, you know, there's no reason why we can't go out and put it up by these. Tyler, what do you think needs to be done? Obviously, we've got the centre-back issue, right? That needs to be sorted out. Is there any other business you think needs to be done to give you confidence going into this season?
I mean, with the Kane situation, in my opinion, I just can't see him going to Bayern or PSG, and I think those are the only two teams that are going to end up trying to spend money this summer. Mm-hmm. So I think he will just assess his options, and if the season goes well, hopefully somehow he resigns. If not, he's going to pick his club. Mm-hmm. But as long as we get that done, I'll be you know, content, because I do think, you know, as much as I don't think he's not going to be a Kane replacement, that's for damn sure, Richarlison.
Yeah.
But we spent $60 million on the guy, so that's kind of that shows what we thought of him, and that he would be the Kane replacement for the future, because 60 mil for a backup, that's not happening. Yeah. So I don't know. So with him and Son, well, I think rotate if Kane leaves. You know, if Richarlison's not playing good, Son will just end up playing the striker probably the whole season, and at least till January. The person I would like to get in is Ivan Toney. A lot of people disagree. They don't know, you know, what's going to happen with him with the whole betting thing.
Yeah.
But I think he's probably the perfect replacement. And I like what you said, the Brighton guy.
Evan Ferguson.
Yeah, Evan Ferguson. I think he's going to be probably the closest thing to Kane coming up right now. So, but I'm sure that's Brighton striker. We'd have to spend a shit ton of money. Probably not going to happen. Let's be real.
Yeah, look, you're probably looking at about 50, 60 million. Brighton know the potential of this guy. Everyone around in and around Ireland know the potential of this guy, you know, and he's going to be insanely talented.
And And then
But look, where do you stand on the whole Harry Kane thing, though? Actually, just quickly on Ivan Toney. I like Ivan Toney as a player. I think holds up the ball well. Good at penalties. He takes free kicks as well. Knows where the back of the net is. However, I don't know if we can afford to let Harry Kane go and wait around till January, for this guy, which is when we'll have to probably be bringing him in because of his suspension. But look, what do you make of the whole Harry Kane transfer saga? Where are you at with it now, Tyler?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm fed up with all of it. You see, a new rumor every day. She's his wife, whatever, is looking at houses there, looking at houses here. It's you don't know what to believe. Yeah. Obviously, I mean, I would rather just have him stay, and hopefully, we get Champions League and that makes up for the money. But I don't know. It's just the thing is, if we do sell him, and let's say we buy like a Randall Colomawani for 80 mil, we're probably not getting a center back, and if we do, it's going to be Longley and Tosin probably. So
I'd be uninspiring to you.
I'd be pissed. I do not rate Tosin that highly, to be honest with you. Okay. I think he'd be a fine backup. I mean, he's better than Dyer and Sanchez. That's for damn sure. So he'd be a fine backup for Romero, but him and Romero together, I just don't see it happening. I don't think either of them can play the left-sided center back.
I just worry when it comes to Tosin. Could it be similar to maybe a Tanganga or a Dyer, right, where they don't have that left foot? And if you're asking them to play on the left, you're sort of in the same situation with what we seen with Tanganga the other day against West Ham. Not being able to play on the left foot is going to hinder us, is going to kill us. And you'll find a lot of teams will use that as their press. As soon as the ball goes there, press him, panic him, because he has to move his body to turn back inside, etc. So just press. Once you press him, get someone else pressing the centre back, or like the other centre back, Romero, and all of a sudden you're under a lot of pressure. So for me, if they are bringing this guy and expecting him to play on the left, someone better have done the research to find out if this guy can use his left boot. Because if not, I can understand him as being brought as a backup to Romero and challenging, fine. If he's brought in to play on the left and he can't use the left boot, it's shocking.
Yeah, for me, Tapsoba was an absolute must. I don't care if it's 50 mil. I don't even care if it's 60 mil. I think he's a must buy. Yeah. He's a right-footed center back, but can play amazingly on the left side. His progressive passing numbers are insane. His long ball numbers are great. He's the perfect player. He's big. He's strong. He can tackle. He's fine in the air. He's the exact center back we need to pair with Romero. I don't know how we just haven't spent the money yet. But that's my whole worry. If we do sell Kane, I think we're just going to buy a striker and maybe one center back, but it's not going to be a Tapsoba, and I think we're going to be in a very, very bad position, especially if we sell Hojbjerg and bring in like a Conor Gallagher as well. I think we're going to be in a really bad position going into next season if that's the case, if we end up losing Kane.
I agree with that, my man. And look, last question for you. Who do you blame the Kane saga on, the club or Harry Kane?
I mean, overall, it's a bit of both, leaning more towards the club, just from how he's. I mean, that we shouldn't be in a situation where we don't have a team set up around Kane to succeed. Yeah. He's the best striker in the world right now, in my opinion. We should be trying to have an amazing team around him. This is our time to go get trophies. We have the best striker in the world. We've had one of the best wingers in the world as well. The team around them should be stacked. Who wouldn't want to come here and play with them? But because of the situations we're in, now we have no Europe. I mean, it's just an utter shit show. So mostly I blame the club, but also as Kane, like if he actually wants to go to Bayern, like what? It just doesn't make sense. I don't care what the media says. You just need a trophy. Going to Bayern and winning the league is not like anything to flex. It's not you going there or not. They're winning the league. It's literally irrelevant. So unless you win the Champions League, I'm not impressed at all. Most people shouldn't be impressed. And even watch when he does go win the league, no one's gonna rate him even any higher. They're gonna say he went to Bayern and won the league. He's still shit. He couldn't win at Tottenham for how many years? It's bullshit. So if he does think like that, then he can get the hell out because it's just stupid thinking. He should want to stay here, the club that have trusted and given him everything as personal, not around him. Obviously, we haven't, So I don't blame him for wanting to leave for certain reasons, because we just haven't had the best teams around him to set up for success. But let's be real, we should have won something with that Pochettino team with Toby and Yan and Dembele and Sissoko, and we should have won with Eriksson. I mean, we definitely should have won trophies. So it's just such a bad situation all around. It's hard to say.
Do you know what? I definitely agree with you to the point that no matter what he does at Bayern, other opposition fans are always going to move the goalpost to make Harry, to slander Harry Kane because he's a Spurs boy. 100% I agree with that. And then British Scooter says Spurs have agreed to sell Davinson Sanchez to Spartak Moscow. Absolutely spot on. And then Wayne Bonner follows up saying any chance they want Dyer as well. I mean, look, we could do a 2-for-1. That would be absolutely awesome. But Tyler, big yourself up, my man. Really appreciate your time this afternoon. Good conversation. You made me laugh, which is always a bonus. Any plans for the evening?
No, I'm just resting. Tired from the plane yesterday. And hopefully tomorrow, I think I'm not going to start work, I think, till Monday. So I have the week off. So just relaxing, playing some tennis, getting used to the weather again here. It's so hot. Feels like 110 today.
I love it. I wouldn't be able to survive in that heat. Anyone that knows me knows I don't like it. I'd much rather be, out in Greenland or Iceland or something like that in the cold. But Tyler, big yourself up, my man. We'll speak again soon, and keep up the hiking.
Have a good one, Dave.
See, just quickly, actually, someone else said, someone says you could pass as Nick's son. Do you know Lazy 8, Nick?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're saying you could pass as his son.
Really?
Yeah. So you look similar.
I think I'm a little too white. I don't
know. Well, Tyler, big yourself up, my man, and we'll speak again soon, sir.
All right, have a good one, guys.
Big up, my man. Everyone, big up Tyler. What a guy. I really like that guy, I really like Tyler. Really nice guy, and not afraid to put his opinions out there, which is also great. Tin Man 007, my man, big yourself up. Look, we all go through the rough patches, brother. It's been, football, especially with the football, right? It's been hard to take over the last while and stuff like that, but never, ever suffer alone, brother. You ever need someone to speak to, it doesn't even have to be about Tottenham, even if it's about life or anything I can help you with, please get in contact, my man. Don't ever hesitate. Big up, Tin Man 007. Hopefully you are, it's good to see you on the men, my man. Also, big up, Steve. Good to see you in the building. Hopefully you're keeping well. And then we also have Tom Harris. He says, Dave, thought on the potential buyback clause if we sell Kane, getting back in a couple of years to break the record and hopefully win something. Do you know what, on that, my man? I mean, for me, they're talking about, a 2, maybe 3-year buyback clause. But for me, then Kane's 32, 33, and it's a different conversation altogether because Tottenham, I would like to think would have moved on from, if they do sell Kane, move on from needing them. But again, you never know at this club whether they're going to do the right business or not to replace him. But for me, I think it's a load of nonsense, if you want me to be brutally honest. We're either selling them or we're not selling them. Me, I prefer not to sell them. I think we're going to need them this season, personally. But I don't agree with this buyback thing for me personally, because by then, like I said, I would have hoped Tottenham would have moved on. But also, he's 32, 33, so you have a different conversation altogether. Then, in my opinion, So look, let's wait and see. Me, I don't think there will be a buyback clause. Like I said, Tom, I think journalists were expecting to talk about yesterday's game, etc., and stuff like that. There was nothing to talk about. So it seems to me that they're sort of plucking things up or making things up, especially with the Joe Lewis crap, just to sort of put things out there to still get their clicks and everything else. That's what it seems like to me, my man. But big up, Tom. Hopefully you're keeping well and good to see you in the building, sir. But look, there, Nick's in the building as well. Nick says he might just be, I've dated a lot of chicks. Big up, Nick. Big up, my man. Hopefully you're keeping well. Stop making us all jealous, Nick. Stop making us all jealous. But look, let's keep this going. We have Rhino on next. Let's hear what Rhino has to say. Big up, Rhino. You keep it,
man. You're right, man. Just a quick one before we start, though, Dave. To Tin Man, right? If you ever need to speak to Dave about anything, Dave is an absolute legend. He will try and help you out in any way, shape, or form, whether it's in life or if it's just.
Unless you're in the doghouse, then I can't help you, right, Rhino?
Yeah, I'm all right now, mate. I've just about got out of there, but But just quickly on Kane, just because I'm sick and tired of chatting about this bloody thing now. Right, these negotiations, mate. Right, it's like it's ridiculous. I mean, my missus could negotiate better than this, mate.
Yeah.
That's how bad it is. My missus can negotiate better than fucking anything. And this Kane thing needs to be dealt with, and it needs to be dealt with quick. Just get it over with one way or another, please.
Do you think it's Daniel Levy making it hard for Bayern to get the deal done, or do you think it's Bayern pissed him about and not wanting to put the money in that it's going to require?
I think it's everyone. Personally, I think it's absolutely everybody, mate. At the end of the day, it is just getting ridiculous. I just can't be dealing with it. If he's going to go, bring in 2 defenders. Fucking hell, just do that. And then at least we've got a strong enough still front line. Just bring in 2 bloody defenders. Bring in Tapsoba and fucking, what's his name? Mickey Van der Ben, that's it. Yeah. Right? And then we're fine. Just, for God's sake, somebody just fucking tell Levy to get the job done.
Look, he's out in Bangkok right now, so he doesn't look any closer to get any signings in. I'm actually surprised. I get Donna Cullen and Daniel Levy being out on the tour, but I'm surprised that it's hindered any sort of business that we want to do. I'm very surprised about that. And that,
do you know what, right, Dave? It's funny, right? You say that, right? Well, where's all the negotiation teams? Yeah, right? Are they all gone out there with them? Have they? Because that's what it looks like at the moment.
But Daniel Levy's the one being doing the negotiating, right? Because Scott Munn hasn't started yet.
So then, yeah, so that's the whole negotiation team gone out there already. Simple. That's why nothing's getting done, Dave. And you know what? It's got to the point now that I don't even want to talk about Kane anymore because look, but I don't want to put Kane down. Thank you for your services, but now just fuck off, please. Fuck off. I have more chance of actually talking to my cat, right, about everything else apart from Kane, because at least he doesn't start talking about Kane every 5 seconds. It's a joke, mate.
Well, look, let's wait and see what happens on the Kane situation. I do think we'll see a lot more by the end of the week, or I think it'll probably be clearer by the end of the week. Look, Rhino, let's move on and talk about the centre-backs. I mean, what's going on there? Why haven't we got any over the line yet?
I don't know, mate. I don't know. Do you know what? I was confident at the beginning of the window that after Maddison, we were going to get every Tom, Dick and Harry coming in. But now I ain't confident about it. Do you know what? This is going to be probably the time that I think Jack's not going to be happy clapping with what I'm about to say. And I know you're going to be absolutely shocked, Dave.
Go on.
I'm actually going to predict that there's no centre-backs coming in and we're going to have the same load of shit as last year.
Do you know what, Ryan? I'm actually not shocked, to be honest with you. I mean, I've been calling for centre-backs for how long now? We dilly-dally about with it and everything else. And I said this coming into this summer. I wouldn't be surprised if we're sitting here by the end of the transfer window. Eric Dyer, new contract, and Ben Davies sort of kept around as well. Look, I think we'll definitely do one. But I'm starting to think we're going to do 2 or 3 like what's needed. But even if they do one, though, Ryan, it's what's the point? It's not going to be good enough because you're still going to get an injury or suspensions, and you're going to have to use some of the other guys that are still around. So, I mean, for me, it's got to be 2. But it comes down to ambition, though, right?
Look, right, I think there's more ambition in my cat than there is in me, mate. I'm sorry to say there's more ambition in my cat than there is in me. Thinking that we're going to get anywhere near 2 or 3 centre-backs. Or it's not even just the ambition of me. It's like the ambition of Levy. Like, it's like I'd rather have Lucky in charge, to be honest, Dave. To be honest.
Ryan, King Hoddle made a good point. He says it doesn't matter whether Levy's sort of out in Thailand or not. He can still negotiate by phone or video call on that, right? So why is he not doing it?
Why do you think, Dave?
I don't know. I'm asking you.
It's exactly the same reason that we always worry about every single year. Brings it down to the last couple of hours. And it's, you know, it's a joke, Dave. It's getting to the point that, do you know what? I'm going to just say this now, right? I'm going to be surprised now, right? If we get anyone in, right, before I even go down to London next week, I will be very surprised. By next Friday, we still will be with the same shit as we've got already at that centre back position. And people saying that, oh, why don't we go out and get someone like Alex Scott? Fuck Alex Scott. We don't need them positions at the moment. Fuck that shit. Let's get the centre backs done. It's a bloody joke, Dave.
It should have been first team done, Ryan, our centre back. Should have been one of the first things we done outside of goalkeeper, you know. I just don't understand it. It's a joke. Well, look, Ryan, what do you think of the pre-season tour in general, right? You know, it's turning into a disaster.
Yeah, disaster is probably not the right word for it, though, Davo. I think it's more like we could have been playing out in the back of my garden here, Dave. Right? I know it's not the biggest of gardens, but I mean, at least the weather would be at least kind of reliable. Do you know what I mean? It's ridiculous.
Did you agree with Postecoglou bringing everybody out?
Do you know what? Right? It's got to the point that bringing everybody out. What is even the point if we're not even if we're only going to be playing at least one game? What is the point? What is actually the point? Because, you know, I get sick and tired of hearing the same things again and again and again. And it's like, if we're only going to be playing West Ham, then what is actually the point? What is the point? We've not proven anything. It hasn't. All it's proved is that, what, 45 minutes for the two halves that we've got 45 minutes in each other's in each of their legs. Apart from that, what else is there to prove, Dave?
I don't understand it, lad, to be honest with you. Look, it's descended into a farce, you know. It's like,
can we put you in charge, Dave, please, with negotiations for fucking
look, I'll be honest right now. I'll be honest. Look, I like sitting here sharing my opinions, and I hope that sometimes they're insightful. But look, I wouldn't have the expertise to run such a big organization like that. It's not as easy as many people think. But one thing I would do is certainly show more ambition while doing it. That I can guarantee you, Rhino. That I can guarantee you, man.
Because it's like, Dave, it's like, do you know what? It's got to the. I want to cry, but I'm just past that now. But anyone could do that job though, just bringing in players. I could do that job. You could do that job. Even my missus could do that job, bro. That's how bad it is. And she doesn't know nothing about fucking football, and she could do the job better than half of these people out in the negotiation who are meant to be negotiating. Really? I mean, it just proves how much of a joke that this club has been turned into.
Yeah.
And when the hell Scott Munn starting?
Look, that delay is on the City end. That's not our fault. That delay is on the City end, lad.
It's a joke. You would have thought it would have been dealt with by now, wouldn't you? Really?
Well, you'd like to think so. You know, it's one of the first things that sort of should have been done. But look, Rhino, we'll move on. Last question, my man. What do you think of Tottenham's choice to maybe potentially cash in on Hojbjerg?
Look, that's a difficult one because it's like they're talking about in the range of what, 35 million. I thought I saw you say earlier
For Hojbjerg?
Yeah.
No, there's been no fee sort of talked about whatsoever.
No, but what you was bounding around earlier, like you said about 35 million, I think, weren't it?
That was for Conor Gallagher.
Oh, right. Well, whatever you quoted earlier, it feels like it's been a lifetime ago since you've done that last stream. But whatever you was branding, right? Just get him out the door. Get him out the door. Bring in like a couple of defenders, for God's sake. It's going back to that same thing. Just get players out the door that are not going to be useful, and then bring in 2 defenders. I don't really care who goes at this point in time. I wouldn't even care if fucking Son went at this point, to be honest, to bring in 2 defenders. I would take that at the moment. It's that bad at the back. I would take that at the moment.
Look, I wouldn't do that. Look, for me right now, you don't get rid of your best players just to do business in other areas. You do business in other areas to support your best players. Look, it's just a mess, and look, hopefully it gets sorted, because if it gets sorted, we get happy, Ryan, and that's what we want, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, we'd want that, but like Jack's definitely not happy clapping at the moment, is he? If you think about it, and I don't think you're happy clapping either, because I'm not. No,
look, for me, I've said all along, Rhino, that, you know, for me, I get when people say, look, you know, stop being negative, get positive, get behind Ange Postecoglou, right? But when I highlighted problems last year that were going to cause us a lot of problems, and they cost us more problems than what they are, and it hasn't been fixed, just because you change the style of football, it doesn't mean it solves your problems. So for me, I think positivity behind Ange is calling for exactly what we need at this football club, so that when he goes into the season, he's not toying around, do I play Dyer or do I play Sanchez, or not Sanchez, he's going, or do I play Davies or this or that? Because the reality is, it doesn't matter who he picks, they're going to be shit anyway. So for me...
I mean, like, even the only good thing, a bit of business that's come out of it, right, and we signed him last year, was Udogie. Like... I only saw 45 minutes from him the other day, but all right. I mean, he needs to get used to the team and everything. All right, that's granted. But I thought he played quite well. To be honest,
Udogie was good. He was very good. I can't wait to see what else he has to offer. What I liked about him was when he picked up that ball and just went straight for it. If Richarlison had a better pass back to him, it would have been a nice link-up play, and he got his goal as well, which is good. You know, which should show maybe he's decent in the air, which is
that's a good thing as well, Dave, because like also, yeah, right, it's not just that, right? Like Porro, right? This is something I want to ask you. Do you think Porro should play right mid or right back next season? That's a very good question.
Look, for me, I think he'll be used as both, to be honest with you. I think, you know, he'll definitely used as a right back, I think, to start, depending on how that goes. But I also think if Kulu gets injured, he's good enough to play right wing. Look, I still wouldn't write off Gill being our second right winger behind Kulu. There's been no noise around him whatsoever, even with him being injured. I'm sure we still would have heard noise about potentially a low move or something like that. We haven't heard a thing. But look, Porro, for me, I think he can play both positions. I think if he wants to stay in the team at right back, he has to work on his game defensively, because the difference between right back and right wing back, right back, you've got a lot more defensive duties. But not only that, you've got to keep that defensive line. Otherwise, you play people on side and it becomes a problem. So Porro has to work on that side of the game. And look, we'll see what work is being done with him over preseason and see if he can adapt. Let's wait and see right now. Let's wait and see. But look,
that's all we can really do, really, isn't it? We can only really wait and see what happens there, because my personal opinion on it is I think Porro should probably be right wing, to be honest, personally, in my personal opinion. But Udogie, on the other hand, he's got the best of both worlds, because he's strong, he's quick, he can get back. And I think, personally, if we're going to start anything next season, I think we should start with Emerson and Destiny, personally. But that's...
Yeah, look, we could. Look, I'm happy either or. I think we're okay at fullbacks, to be honest with you, Rhino. I do. But, Rhino, thanks for your time this evening, my man. I've got to keep it moving, and big yourself up, brother.
Yeah, you too, man.
Big up, Rhino.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on. Good to see you, and we'll speak again soon.
Yeah, we'll probably speak to you over the next couple of days or something, Dave, mate.
Yeah, no worries at all, lad. No worries at all.
Mate.
Drop me a message. See you, Rhino.
Yeah. See you later, bro.
See you, my man. Big up.
Yeah.
Everyone, big up, Rhino. Big up, Rhino. Nice guy. Nice guy. I know a lot of people maybe don't like what you have to say or a bit of swearing, but look, you know, I swear all the time. People don't always agree with me, but everybody, big up, Rhino. I really like the guy. A Tin Man 007, I mean, if this... It wouldn't surprise me. For me, there's a few people up for it. You probably, if Kane goes, you've got Son. Ideally, you want someone that's been here a long time. And outside of that, then you're talking Davies or Dyer then, aren't you, to be honest with you? I mean, look, if it's Dyer, forget about winning anything, and this club will only go backwards. I mean, people tell me how much of a leader this guy is, but yet no one seems to follow his lead. Amazing that. And plus, if I was in that team and he was given out to me after the mistakes that he's made and he's going to continue to make, I wouldn't listen to him. In fact, I'd walk in at halftime, I'd hang him on the coat peg, and I'd just tell him some home truths, whether he likes it or not. So for me, if they put Dyer as club captain, well, then they're making a huge error. One that's just going to absolutely unravel this football club, if you want me to be brutally honest. But big up, Tim, man, my man. Big yourself up. But look, let's keep moving. We've got 3 guests left, and these are the last 3 we'll be taking, and then we will be ending off. Your boy still has to go and get his dinner. He's got a nice chicken korma waiting for himself. We've got Ellie, we've got Michael, and we've got KPV. Let's get Ellie on. Let's see what she has to say. Big up, Ellie. How you keeping, my dear?
Yeah, I'm all right. Yeah, let me put my camera on. That's better. Yeah,
nice hat. I like the hat. Nice colour.
I know. It's Angela's hat actually. She said, "Mum, you can't wear that white hat because it doesn't suit you." So she gave me her hat. You see?
Tell her I said she's got a good choice when it comes to buying
She said
caps.
I look cool in it, so that does for me.
You do. You do. You look like you've been in the military, Ellie. But look, Ellie, let's get on to it. Apparently, Pierre-Emile Hojbjerg has sort of, how do I put it? Apparently, he's agreed personal terms with Atletico Madrid. I mean, Ellie, this could be the end of Pierre-Emile Hojbjerg. We might have seen him play for the last time. Do you agree with Tottenham selling him?
You know the answer to that, Dave. I don't have to say. Listen, right, I can't stand the club. I can't stand it that when they're getting rid of a player that's given his all for 3 years, 3 seasons. We've made Champions League and Europa and Conference. So we've made Europe in every single season he's been with us. And that's despite players like Dyer trying to ruin everything with his crap defending. You know, I want to know who these boys are, or girls, actually. I won't be sexist. Who these boys or girls are letting you in to Dyer being our captain. Come on. I'm going to write them an email. I'm telling you, I'm famous for it, Dave.
Honestly, Ellie, though, I wouldn't actually put it by the club to do something stupid like that.
Do you know what? We are one stupid club. First of all, we don't get our main area where we were weak last season in defence. We don't get that shored up, but we bring a flashy player like Maddison. I love Maddison, don't get me wrong. I think he's a fantastic signing for us. But, right, we could have done without that if we brought in the 2 defenders, right? Yes, I wanted a creative, but Maddison fits that bill and he scores goals. Don't get me wrong, I love him. But get the defenders in first. Do that business first, because that's where we were weak, Dave.
Yeah.
And we've neglected it, like Ryan said. Come on.
Yeah.
What is our club about? They don't know what they're doing half the time. They left us the whole season with Dyer, Sanchez and Davies again.
Yeah.
So we had to suffer all of that. All of the
What do you think the hold up is? What do you think the hold up on getting in centre backs is, Ellie? Because it's not just a problem that's been common this window. It's been for a number of windows now, right? And a lot of people would say, oh, well, Jose didn't ask for centre backs and Conte didn't ask for centre backs, but they did. They just didn't get the right quality centre backs in or anywhere near enough to be able to help this team on the football pitch. So why do you think Tottenham are so adverse to buying centre backs?
Yeah, and we always want to do things on the cheap by bringing in Ashley Phillips because he's an 18-year-old lad. Don't we have an 18-year-old lad in our youth team called Dorrington who can come in? Why are we wasting money? And like he's got so many clauses that the club have like put over with a toothbrush, and like they're looking at that contract that he's on and they're saying there's something dodgy here. So they sort of semi-pulled out of it until their lawyers read it all over again, and then they can clarify it to Mr. Levy, right? But why are you doing that business because it's cheap, right? When you've got a young boy who's itching, who's been with our club for many, many years, who's got Spurs in his heart, right? And he wants to play, and you're going to go out and buy another youngster. What sort of message does that send to the boys who've been playing their heart out, trying to break through into the first team?
Yeah.
You know, I'm angry about that.
I'm surprised Darrington didn't go on pre-season. I'm very, very surprised he didn't go on pre-season, because for me, you know, look, Ange Postecoglou would have already known what centre-backs he wanted out here. He called for centre-back after the West Ham game, and he didn't need the West Ham game to tell him he needed it. So for me, you know, did he not bring Darrington to maybe try and prove a point? Potentially that could be the case. Let's wait and see.
Yeah.
Oh, Ellie, let's move on to the Harry Kane saga. I'll be honest, I'm bored of
God.
talking about it, but we have to. It's out there every single bloody day of the week. I mean, where are you at with the saga now, Ellie?
Right, with Harry Kane, right, I said on THFC till I die, but I got shot down, but I think they misunderstood me. I'm a very misunderstood woman sometimes. Tell my husband
I don't believe that, Ellie. You're well able to get your point across when you need.
What I meant by it is the club have messed Harry Kane about because they haven't gone to his level in the type of players they want to invest in, right? They've always done things on the cheap, right? When we go for Fernandes, we get the other guy in, then we get Bergwijn. These players are not good enough for Harry Kane's standards. However good they are, they're still not at his level. We should be going for players like Maddison. I agree with that. Yeah, he will be a fantastic player for Spurs. I must agree. But we're not adding to that. We buy one and then we stop. We buy one and then we stop, right? Why don't we buy a team around Harry Kane? Don't sell him. What's the point of selling him, right? What are you going to make? You're going to make 100 mil and then go and waste it? Or just put it in the coffers for the next time that you're going to mess the Spurs fans about and not bring in the right type of players? You should be building a team around Harry Kane.
I agree.
That's our ambition. But our club lacks ambition. That's the problem.
Look, I agree with you. I blame the club for this whole mess. Look, we can sit here and blame Harry Kane all we want. Harry Kane has made his intentions clear, even latest as last January. I would like to win trophies at Tottenham Hotspur. And he's also always said, ever since the City team, he wants to be in a position to be able to do that at Tottenham. So since the Man City team, the club have had 2 years to be able to get it right on the football pitch, to be able to try and convince Harry Kane to sign a new contract. And they have not done it. That's why we sit here today with speculation around Harry Kane's future. And so Tequila made a good point. Look, maybe someone like Harry Kane and Hojbjerg want out of the sinking ship because they already know it's going down. You just don't know. But for me, you know, you've got no one else but to blame the club for. They knew back then they got 2 seasons to be able to get it right for Harry Kane, and they chose not to. They pissed about, sacked managers, this, that, and the other. And now all of a sudden they're sitting here with every one of the big boys, every single one of them in a line waiting to negotiate with Daniel Levy to get our star striker. So for me, the club have to take blame for this solely.
Yeah, because I have a little bit. Sometimes I have a little debacle with Mia about Harry Kane. Yeah, but it's all civilized, right? She's got one point of view. She says if a player doesn't want to stay, then we should let him go, right? But I know 100% that Harry Kane would stay at Spurs, his boyhood club, who he absolutely adores. All right, he had his head turned for the Man City thing 2 seasons ago. But if we invested then, he could see the club weren't going to invest. And he's looking around at the defence and he's seeing Dyer Davis and Blimmin Sanchez there. What do you want the lad to do? And then he's got the chance to go to Man City to win trophies. Don't you think he wants to do it at Spurs? Why don't we have the same ambition? Right? We can go and buy really brilliant players to play with him. But we stick with these idiots. And then we're going down. The ship is sinking. Right? Whatever Postecoglou can do with this lot, because it seems like the club want to stick by them. We're giving them new contracts, for God's sake. We're rewarding failure. It really is, isn't it? We're rewarding failure.
Look.
It's so bad, David. I don't like what's happening at our club, because I'm like 60 years old and I want us to win the league before I cock my clocks. I've never seen us win the league, which is really bad. I know other clubs haven't won it as well, but we're Tottenham Hotspur. We're supposed to be pioneers. We were pioneers, but not any longer. We're not pioneers anymore. We don't think like a big club.
No, we're not. We're not. And look, this is the problem. You know, like if you need certain business, just go and get it done. You know, you look at all these other Premier League clubs around us; they're just getting it done. No excuses made. Want a player, go and get it done. We're sitting here dicking about, and that's on us. That's our own fault. You know, like you, Ellie, I'm getting impatient now. I want to see a league before I die. But with what I'm seeing with Tottenham on the pitch, I'm going to die in the next 5 years, you know, if it doesn't get any better. But Timman07 says here, this comment from Ali Gold worries me. THFC look to promote Richarlison into Kane's role and promote Parrott as his understudy. Big up Ellie, by the way. I mean, on that, Timman, just quickly from my point of view, look, Richarlison ain't going to bag the goals or anywhere near that when Kane leaves. And as Parrott for his understudy, look, I'll be honest, as much as I like Parrott and he's my fellow countryman, you know, he's nearly every season we've loaned him out, he's carried a massive injury that's ruled him out for large parts of the season. And that's why a lot of his loan spells haven't gone well. He's even lost his spot in the Republic of Ireland team, you know, because of it all. And I'm not sure he is the right guy to be back up to Richarlison. As much as I would love Parrott to work out at Tottenham Hotspur, I don't see him doing it at that level. I really don't. So for me, that concerns me a little. But Ellie, what do you make of it? Richarlison, is he good enough to replace Kane, or in general, like is he good enough to get more to get goals? To get the goals we need.
Listen, right, he hasn't proved it last season, and every club he's been at, he's not a prolific goal scorer. We've seen his stats, right? He's not. He's a totally different player to Kane. He's not a player that can drop deep and hold the ball. His first control is quite poor for a Brazilian boy as well. I was watching him right all season, right, and I want to give him his dues, right, because obviously I do like him because he's a player that wins your heart because he's blood and thunder, isn't he? And he'll get stuck in, and he'll always he wears the badge. He does, right. But he's got his limitations in goal scoring attributes, hasn't he? So he's never been like a 20, 25 goal scorer, has he? He's always round about 9, 10, 11, 12, that sort of figure. But with us, he had a lot of injuries and the World Cup came and he played very well in the World Cup, I must admit. But he's not going to be a Harry Kane. No one can fill his boots. No one can fill Harry Kane's boots because he's a number 10 and a number 9. So you've got two players in one, haven't you? So whoever gets him is going to be a bloody lucky club. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Because they've got a proven goal scorer, an international proven goal scorer as well, because that's important. Because some players, when they're at league level, when they go up to international level, they can't take it. They don't produce.
Yeah, look, I think whoever gets Kane, it probably propels them into one of the favourites to lift the Champions League for sure. They're getting a brilliant player. King Ogden says, we are all hindsight merchants. If you've told me 2 years ago we would get, at the time, Everton's best player, Brighton's best player, and Leicester City's best player, I'd have bitten your hands off. Look, I would also counter that if you would have told me 2 years ago that Dyer, Davies, and people like that would still be at the heart of our bench to pick from for centre-back options.
Yeah.
I would have said, you know what, I wouldn't support the club by then. So, I mean, look, it works both ways. This is the thing. We've done some good in the windows, but a lot of the shit we already have and some of the shit that we've accumulated far outweighs the good, and that's the problem. That is the problem. But Ellie, quickly, my dear.
King Hoddle makes a good point, right?
Yeah, it is a good point.
He makes a very good point, right? And I take my hat off to you, King Hoddle. That's a lovely point. But you have to back it up with the players that can secure you the victory. Because you can have all the skillful players in your team, but if you haven't got a backline that can hold and support all the good work, then it goes out the window. Like we saw last year, we scored, I think, the 3rd or 4th highest amount of goals in the league, but we conceded, I think, the 2nd most or 3rd most. You see, so you can't. You have to have a solid defence, and we haven't had that since Toby and Jan left. All right, and we've left ourselves open. We've left our back door open, haven't we, Dave? That's what we've done. We've gone out and we've left our back door open.
And we've sent them the address, the times we've gone out, the time we'll be back, and we turned off all the security
where the jewellery is.
Oh, it's a joke.
We've told them where our gold pot is, our jewellery.
Yeah.
And they've gone in and nicked it all, you know?
It's a joke.
Yeah.
Rob Wallace says, Ellie, dust your boots off and get in that left centre-back position. Ellie, you were a midfielder. Can you transfer it?
I wouldn't be very good at left centre-back. First of all, I'm too small. I can't take it, right? And my position was a cam. I was a central. I'm more like Maddison and Modric, not on belly, if you want, because I'm probably his weight now. I'm trying to lose weight now to get down to Modric's weight rather than not.
Ellie, you go on like you're massive. You're nowhere near it.
No, I'm not massive, but compared to when I was playing in my playing career, sorry, I'm a bigger lady, but me and Andrew on this what's it called? It's called intermittent fasting. I bloody forgot the name of the diet, but it's really good because it keeps you disciplined, right? You go 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and then you don't eat, right? And it really does shrink your stomach. I'll recommend it to everybody.
I'm going to try that, Ellie. You know, I got to stop.
It's hard as a Greek girl. You know, us Greeks, we love our food. You know what I mean?
Where were you the other day? Where were you the other day? I think it was for Theo's birthday, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right.
Sending a picture of the food. It looked bloody unreal.
I know, it was really lovely. Yeah. But the thing is, right, I didn't eat anything all day, so I could eat that.
Yeah.
I've got to control my eating because I'm like a right pig.
Look, I've got to get off the chips. That's my problem, Ellie. That's my problem. But to Rob's point, can you play left side of centre back for us if needed?
No, left centre back. Nah, I'll leave. You know what? We haven't really got a decent. Adoji would be good. He's going to come good, I think, that boy, right? Because what I've seen of him, it's just on the right side. I'm more worried because Emerson's brilliant at defending, but not really good going forward. And then you've got Porro's he's not a defender. I don't think you can teach him, Dave. He hasn't got it in him, right? I see him. He's lost in that position. You know, when he's going forward, he's fabulous, Porro. Just play him as a winger, like an out-and-out winger and an inverted midfield player, yeah? Play him like that and you'll get the best out of him. Soon as he goes into defence, he's a liability and he looks worried. The face goes ashen. When I've seen him, because I go right at the front most of the time in that big stand in the south stand, and I can see him, he's shitting himself before the player even gets to him. He does, because he's not a confident defender, but going forward, he's fabulous. Yeah.
Look, I think you could work with Porro defensively. I don't think he's at that age where he's sort of past learning. And look, if you bring in a leader,
learn a bit,
someone that's vocal, they might be able to help him out. But look, let's wait and see how that pans out.
I just don't think he's a defender. He just hasn't got those attributes. You know, when there's some players, right, when they play left centre-back or right centre-back, they've got it. You can see. You can teach him a little bit, but the boy has.
See, it comes down to how badly you want to do it, Ellie, as well. You know, you can put all the time and effort into someone and saying, look, this is the position-wise, this is what we want you to do, this is what we expect of you. But look, as a defender, you either got that inner grit and that determination to be the one to go and win that ball, or you don't. You got, you either take pride in clean sheets or you don't. You can't fake. So look, it'd be interesting to see whether that pans out with Porro or not. But Rob, big yourself up, my man.
Yeah, go
Look,
on, Rob.
you
I
know
love
what's
his
going
name
on.
as well, Rob Wallace.
It's a
Come
great
on.
name. It's a great name. But
Great
Rob, I
name.
want to know what's going on with the weather over that side of the world, my man. It's ruining Tottenham's pre-season. So it is.
Yeah.
Hopefully New Zealand's treating you well, though, my man. And the Rugby World Cup is coming up. So it's going to be a fantastic spectacle, which I cannot wait. Ireland v New Zealand in the final, Rob. It'd be absolutely brilliant. But big yourself up, Robbie. But Ellie, I mean, last thing I'll ask you, what's your thoughts on the preseason stuff so far? I mean, it's just descended into chaos for me. Pointless.
Yeah, in terms of that, but the West Ham game, we can take a lot from that. We know the defence was poor, right? I mean, they had 4 shots on target and scored 3 of them, and we had 30, 31. And I think we had more than half on target as well. So there's some, it's like Spurs, we're like got an attacking flair players and then defensively so poor, right? And I just hope for Postecoglou's sake, because you know what you said earlier about the fans, they will want us to win, right? And the ones who are really passionate, if we start losing, they're going to jump on that wagon, aren't they? We'll get Postecoglou out. And there'll be so much on Twitter. There'll be so much all over social media calling for his head. There will be. We know it, right? Because Spurs fans, we're fickle, right? We don't have a lot of patience. But the ones who can see progress, they'll see past that. But they have to give him those defenders, Dave. They do. If they don't, he's going to be... We're not gonna win every match. Just put it that way, and we're gonna lose a lot more than we win, because especially if we lose Harry Kane as well. If we lose Harry Kane, that's gonna be more devastating than not getting in the centre backs. That's my opinion.
Yeah,
that's my opinion.
For sure.
Yeah.
Lenny, big yourself up. Really appreciate your time this evening. It's been good.
Yeah,
I really like
want
the
to
hat,
big
by
up
the way.
the ladies as well. The Irish ladies done fantastic against Australia. Yeah, they really hang on in. And the Australians, if Paul's watching, you gave Katie McCabe some stick. Oh my God. Every time she got the ball, Dave, they were on her like a pack of flies. Yeah. And they really did give her some bad treatment. So Paul, the Hotspur hippie, you know, I'll be after him, you know. Don't you go after our Katie McCabe, you know, because I've got my Irish citizenship now, Dave. So I'm looking after these Irish girls. Come on.
Philip and Dermot decided to give you one after all. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
And also, obviously, England are playing on Friday, so I'm going to be doing a watch along for the Irish game and the English game. And for the Irish game, I'm trying to get Drula, my niece, on. I'm going to actually phone her after this. You know, she comes on your chat as well.
Yeah. No, I know exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And you know Eltel Coquerel, right? He did the Spanish one for me, with me the other day. We did the Spain team. It was a brilliant show. If anybody hasn't seen that show, please tune into it and give me a like. Come on. I'll do my own promo on the Irish Hotspur.
I love it. Well, Ellie, I've got your link in here, so if people want to get across, smash the subscribe and check it out. Please do. But Ellie, thank you for your time this evening, my dear. Great to see you. Great to see you still smiling. And we'll speak again soon. I'll give you a ring tomorrow at some stage. Check in with you.
Yes, Dave. You have a lovely... Whoever's on the show now, you're following the Queen, so you have to live up to the Queen Ellie's Hojbjerg. All right? We're not selling him. We're not selling him. All right. Take care.
Big up, Ellie. See you soon.
Bye-bye, darling.
See you soon. Everybody, big up, Ellie. Please get over and check out her women's show. And she's gone through nearly every team at the World Cup. The work is incredible. And the passion as well for it is absolutely incredible. So please do get over and check out Ellie's channel and make sure you smash the subscribe and get behind that passion. But look, we've got two members left, and then we will be ending off there. We have KPV next. I want to speak to this dude for a minute. Let's get him on. Let's hear what he has to say. KPV, my man, how are you keeping?
Keeping okay. Just been going through a lot recently. Lost another friend.
Oh, sorry to hear, bro.
Cheers. And yeah, but yeah, been keeping well, been doing other stuff anyway. Like, yeah, been
Did I not
playing.
see you put out a tweet the other day saying that you were going to move on from Tottenham because they're pissing you off?
They ruined my weekend. They ruined it yesterday, Dave, because the
Yeah.
game, like, this is the second time Tottenham Leicester's been cancelled. Like, the Tottenham Leicester game got cancelled like December 2021. Like, we were supposed to be playing, but it had to be in a new year, 2022. And the Burnley game is meant to be that year as well, but had to be moved to 2022. Fortunately, we lost away at Burnley after the City game, and then we ended up beating them at our place towards the end of the season. That time we got Champions League under Conte. 3 games, 3 clean sheets, no goals conceded. Like, yeah, the guy, yeah, Conte.
KPV, let me ask you, my man. Let me ask you, bro, because I haven't spoke to you, for a few weeks now over the summer. You've gone disappearing. I thought you were away on holidays or something. But look, when it comes to Harry Kane, where are you at with this whole Harry Kane saga? I haven't heard your opinion on it yet, man.
I'm getting sick and tired of it, like Holly is. Holly Agenbar, big up Holly. Hope
Big
you're
up,
well,
Holly.
darling. Yeah, like, I'm getting sick and tired of it, man. Like, Kane wanted to go in Madrid. Cheers, Tyler. I really appreciate you, man. Like, yeah, Kane wanted to go in Madrid, but then, like, Real Madrid must have pulled out, and now Man United wanted him. He wanted to go there, and now he wants to go in Munich. Really? You want to go to a team that battered us in our new stadium, in our first game at the new stadium? Just
That was
a couple months
height, wasn't it?
Yeah, we lost 7-2, even though we went 1-0 up through Son, and then Kane scores a penalty, and he scored against them, and we lost 7-2. Like, so basically, you're going to go to a team who we actually beat in the Audi Cup in 2019 in their place. We won on penalties, so at least we won. We beat them in their place in the Audi Cup, and we still won. But at least Kane scored against them in the Champions League, though, a few months later under Poch, and we got bad 7-2. So at least Kane scored against them at least, and we ended up losing in Germany, and Session actually got a goal. That was under Mourinho.
Yeah, he did actually. Yeah, he did. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. One of his only goals. KBV, what do you make of us selling Winks? Are you happy that he's finally gone?
Yeah, Winks is gone. Like Leicester, I was looking forward to a reunion yesterday, but the game I was looking
Do you have your
forward
Winks
to.
jersey on, KPV?
I ain't got the Winks on Tottenham shirt, but no, I was looking
Stop
forward to a
lying. I know
reunion.
you do. I know you do.
Yeah, Winks playing for Leicester, Mads playing for Spurs. Like, yeah, but yeah, Son and Mads thank the Spurs fans for their supporting. Yeah, Bangkok in Thailand, and yeah, I was looking forward to a bit of Ange Ball, but yeah, and yeah, they ruined my weekend. Like Spurs, so thanks a lot. And the West Ham game, we can take a lot of positives from that. I thought we were brilliant. Like, I think we had, 32 or something shots, and we only scored 2. And And Doji and Lo Celso scored. Like, brilliant performance from Lo Celso, but yeah, if
Would you
Ange
keep
wants
yourself
to
this season, KPV?
50-50, but I wouldn't mind keeping him at least until January. Let's see how his performances go for the first 7 or 8, 10 games for the season, and if he does put in good performance like did against West Ham, then I wouldn't mind. But he just won the World Cup with Argentina. Romero, we're only gonna have Romero as the only Argentine player. If we sell him, then want to get in another Argentina player, like maybe get another one in, like I don't know whoever there is, but yeah,
Look, Celso's a tricky one for me, KPV. I mean, look, I like what I've seen of him against West Ham. I thought he was absolutely brilliant. He could have been, probably actually was one of our best players on the pitch. But I've seen that from the Celso before, KPV, under Mourinho. He's given us some good 45 minutes in that. But for me, the question is all about sort of consistency. You know, can he do it on a consistent basis? Look, let's wait and see. What about Ndombele? Tottenham giving Ndombele a second chance. What's your thoughts on that?
I don't like him. Like what he done against, was it Morecambe in the FA Cup? As you said, he just walked off, moaned, and the fans booed him. Like, I'm sorry, but you don't do that. Like I said before the end of the season, you don't laugh when you don't win trophies. And Eric Dyer done that. You put that video up, and I did not like what he did with this fan who Kane, Doherty, and Dyer saw. I think it was last season for pre-season. They saw him holding a pizza box, and yeah, you do not laugh when this guy asked, "What have you won?" And he just laughed. Dyer, like, I'm sorry, but you don't laugh, man. And now, so I don't want Endon, as Expressions called him, Endon Baller, when we signed him from Lyon in 2019. He was gonna be brilliant, but now when the pandemic come, him and Mourinho had a fallout, and it's the same with Pogba and Mourinho having a fallout, and so two French players Mourinho's fell out with. So
good point.
What's he gonna do? Like, but I don't really want him staying. Like, if Ange wants him, but fair enough. But I don't really want him staying. Poch is the one who brought him, and Lo Celso and Sessegnon, not Mourinho, because we brought those three in, and that was when Liverpool won the title in the pandemic. That's the penalty after penalty. Lucky, but like that was then. But I don't really want him staying. Like his goal he scored against Sheffield United, he chipped over Ramsdale. That was when they got relegated, Sheffield United, in 2021 season. He chipped and he scored. That was his goal. He scored a few, like on his debut against Villa, we won 3-1. Kane got two and Ndombele got one. So at least scored a good few goals. But since then, he's been poor. Like, just won the league with Napoli. So why don't you go there? He doesn't want to go there. He wants to stay and fight for his place. Sorry, dude. Don't want you after what you done in the FA Cup against Morecambe, moaning, walking off. You're just worse than any other players we've had. But no offense to Ginola, he's good. Lloris, time to go, man. Like the Italian goalkeeper, like Vicario, his name is. I heard Buffon said he could become better than him. So make him number one for Italy. He's better than Donnarumma. Like, he's gonna be. So, like, put him in goal for Italy, man. Like, just put him in there, Mancini. Put him in there, because you'll see how good he is. And I've watched some videos of him, and he done pretty good. Like, so let's see. And I heard we are talking on TV report on Twitter saying that Dyer could be starting in our first game against Brentford in centre back. Now we're gonna lose that, but Tony suspended, and but I don't want Dyer starting. Romero, like, I know Emo Go, as Barry calls him, Emo Chicken Moyle, like, put him at centre back. He can be great, but Ellie, I disagree about Porro. He does actually has it in him. Did you not see his goal against United just a few months ago in a 2-2 draw at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium? 2-2, stunning goal. Man U players were moaning. Richarlison was interfering with play. Did they not know anything? He didn't interfere against Chelsea in August last year, so he hasn't interfered. Keep moaning, Man U players. And you say you don't do friendly games against Arsenal. You don't. Well, Martinez still sucks. Romero's better than him anyway, because they just won the World Cup. But good luck with that. But when you come to our house on the 19th of August, I'm definitely going to the game. We're going to slap you up. We're going to get revenge at home against Ten Hag after what he done to us with Ajax in the semis in the Champions League on our road to the final. But revenge is coming, and Chelsea are coming to the new stadium again. But
on my birthday, KPV.
We're still going to batter them like we did already last season. 2-0, skip again, but Kane is going to leave, which I'm gutted, but I don't blame him. But I don't like I don't believe this Joe Lewis thing has said he's told Levy to tell Kane, sign a contract or leave in this window. Like, he's not in charge. Like, Levy
Yeah.
is. But,
Spot on.
he's not in charge. Levy is. So, but yeah, we give Kane an ultimatum. Like, choose wisely, Kane. Sign a contract or leave. Like, you're not going to leave on a free like Sol Campbell because he done a dirty on us. So you're not going to do that, mate. I do not like it. So don't even try doing that. Otherwise, we're going to have to get balloons, mate. Judas on. So that's still with Poches. I don't care what's the guy's name, but I don't care anyway. So anyway, I'm going now, but I'll see you all for the new season. And I've got an announcement, people, that 17th of October, I'm going to Wembley, England, Italy, for the qualifier of the Euro. So people, you'll see me on TV. I'll be next to the centre spot, but you'll have to zoom in if you can, but I'll be there. But anyway, I'm out. Michael, you're up next. You're last, mate, so I'll watch. And then I'm going to watch War, and that's it. But I'll see you all next time. Big up, people. Who let the dogs out? Michael did. Michael did.
Love it. Well, KPV, my man, it's great to see you back, brother. Good to see a smile on your face. Again, I'm sorry for your loss, but keep your head held high. And hopefully we have a good season, my man. KPV, look forward to seeing you around here all season. We'll speak again soon, all right?
Yeah, big up.
Big up, my man. See you soon. See you soon. Ah, what a nice surprise that was, seeing KPV back, huh? Very nice surprise. It's great to see a smile on the dude's face as well. And Michael's not there. Michael's had something to do. He's had to go off. So, no, Michael. So, look, we are going to end it there, guys. I want to say a massive thank you to all of you guys at home for not only tuning in on this fan show, but also the transfer stream before that. It's nearly 4 hours worth of content or streaming that you guys have tuned in for today. So I really, really do appreciate it. It means the world to us. If no one was watching, it'd be hard to continue, right? But also, massive appreciation and thank you to everyone who chooses to support this channel via likes, subscribes, super chats, channel memberships, and everything else. It really does keep me motivated and keep me going. So you guys, thank you very much for all of that. Hopefully we get more and more new faces on the fan show. There's so many people here. I want to see Paul O'Connor. Where is he? Paul O'Connor, Tequila, Scoot Reacts. We've got Brad, but we see Brad every week. All you guys with the channel memberships, it'd be nice to see you get on at some stage throughout the season and have your say. If anybody is thinking about getting channel memberships, actually, just quickly, no bother at all, man. That's bloody hilarious. Bloody hilarious. Big yourself up. And also big up Paul Hotspur, hippie, guys. Brilliant guy. He started up his own channel as well. If you stream, I'll put the link in for you guys to follow that over. But if anybody does want to grab the channel memberships, and look, I know times out there are very, very tough at the minute. We're all feeling the pinch, I get it. We're all on the breadline. But if there is anybody out there that does want to support the channel or can, them channel memberships are out there. We've completely revamped them, for the flat cap, which is $1.99 a month. And we put a video out there anyway, but for the flat cap, which is $1.99 a month, you get a few perks, and then also you get, to play along in the Fantasy Football League with us, the Irish Hotspur Fantasy Football League, with a prize for the winner at the end. Then you move on to the fan show one at $4.99 a month. You get your fan shows plus all the previous perks, plus we're doing a new podcast for members only with plenty of interactive stuff for you to get involved with during the week to help dictate that podcast. Plus, you guys will also be getting a quiz once a month where a league table will be kept, and at the end, the winner gets a prize. And then if you want the elite membership, which is $9.99 a month, you get your Tell Me Your Spurs story plus all the previous perks, and automatically we'll put you guys into two raffles, one coming up to Christmas and one at the end of the season as well. So if you want to check them out, please do. Guys, I see a lot of you thanking me. Do not thank me. Let me thank you guys. Oh, here we are, Michael. Actually, don't go anywhere. We got Michael sneaking in here. We'll take him for a few minutes and then we will end up. Michael, you had me saying my goodbyes, my man. Where were you?
Yeah, sorry, they've got internet DC. Yeah.
You're all good. You're all good, my man. Well, look, where do you want to start with this?
Oh, take me on the ride, David. Just give me a topic. I will
Well,
bring
look,
it.
why don't we start with the preseason, Michael? Preseason, the game being cancelled, such a large squad going. I've always questioned the benefits to it, and it sort of looks like this whole preseason could end up being a shit show where we come away with some of our players only really getting maybe 90 minutes out of it. How many players that are we keeping around have actually really been coached and worked on because of such a large squad, etc., etc. I mean, how do you feel about this preseason talk?
Yeah, it's actually quite a funny thing because I think I'm in a huge minority, and my opinion might surprise a couple of people, right? But everyone is banging the drum that we have the worst preseason out of all teams, all that stuff, etc., right? I actually looked into it. I looked into like majority of Premier League teams, right? Most of them played one game so far, right? Most of them have around 4 to 5 games planned in preseason, which is exactly the same thing that we did, right? And it's not like all of them are playing this amazing opposition or whatever, right? It's I get it. When you compare our preseason to Man United's, fair. Like it's way worse, right? They play way better opposition, way many more matches, etc., right? But actually, like City will play 3 games, Arsenal will play like 6, 2 of them against All Stars and Nürnberg. Liverpool played 2 games in Germany against like some bottom tier teams. It's not like our preseason is super shitty, right? And listen, I completely get like the issues with planning a game in Thailand during the monsoon season, right? I get it. That's just idiotic. And listen, it's not our fault Moyes fielded a B team, right? So in that sense, I kind of feel like our preseason in terms of games themselves, right? It's not as bad as people paint it out to be. I just have a slight feeling that it's more the case of like there is so many things that frustrate people, like the whole Kane situation, center backs, lack of outgoings, all that stuff. That this thing put on top of it is just another nail in the coffin, in my opinion, right? And it's like it's so tiring because you would at least expect something to go right? But it's not. It's like the preseason is going to shit because we didn't play against Leicester, and all the other things that I mentioned, right? So I understand that I'm in a minority, and I understand many people won't agree with me and will tell me that it's a shit show. Fair. I don't think it's listen. I'm not saying it's good. It's not good, right? But it's not as bad as many claim to be, right?
Yeah, fair enough, my man. Also, look, let's move on to the Hojbjerg situation, Michael. I mean, look, I don't know whether you heard what my opinion on it is, and I don't think we should be selling them. I think if things do go wrong this season because of the unknown and the unvariables going into it, there's a lot of potential things could go wrong. And someone like Hojbjerg, a leader, will always put it in, always around to be selected, never injured, etc. Is a sort of fail-safe for an insurance policy. Plus, I don't think he's as bad as people make on, but it looks like we could end up parting ways with him and he's on his way to Atletico Madrid. Also, you see the rumors about Harry Kane. Does it concern you that, there's a lot of rumors about our best players potentially, even, but our worst players are the ones that could end up being kept around?
Yeah, it's with Hojbjerg. Like, first thing I want to say, because I've been watching a lot of shows recently from different channels, right? And on many channels I saw like such a negative opinion about Hojbjerg. I don't know why it is, right? And I'm not saying Hojbjerg is this like generational talent, world-class midfielder, whatever, right? But there were plenty of people who were saying like, get rid of him, he's fucking useless, whatever, like he's not needed. The guy never has been good, never had any good matches in a shirt. And I was like, I understand that people have no issues with getting rid of him. I'm also like that. I don't have an issue if we let me put it the other way. Like I won't be crying over him leaving if we get a replacement or if we use that money in a useful way, right? But I definitely won't be going to the other side of the spectrum and saying that he's been useless or whatever. I appreciate what the guy has done. I appreciate every single thing that you mentioned. He's always available, always puts in a shift, has his flaws, but also has his strengths. And I think players like him are useful in a team, right? So whether we get rid of him or not, I will be thankful for what he's done. But but to your second point about the lack of like leadership and age, etc., right? I'm a bit torn on it because I completely hear your arguments about like what you said, that the lack of like stability, you know, this safe plan that we have with Hojbjerg. But if we plan on like refreshing the squad and like bringing in new leaders, like forming a new team under Ange, and if the reports are true that Hojbjerg is the one that actually wants to leave, right? Because that's what's being reported, then go for it, right? If he's one of the most valuable assets in terms of like sellability, that we will actually sell him quite easily, not like Dyer or Davies or Sanchez or Tanganga or Rodon, who will probably end up selling, you know, at the end of August or whatever, right? So if we sell him and use that money, not necessarily on a new central defensive mid, but maybe on a centre back finally. Maybe we sell Hojbjerg and finally buy Tapsoba. I'm fine with it. It will hurt me a bit because I really like the guy. I think that he's a good lad, good spirit, and a solid player. But yeah, like
I think if we sell him, we have to buy a replacement. And for me, it has to be an improvement. Otherwise, I question what Tottenham are doing here, because you're losing Sarr and Basuma to AFCON in January, February. You know, you don't know how Ndebele Lascelles get on. You know, whether they're staying or not. So that leaves you all then very limited options. So for me, and Bentancur is not back till October, November time. So for me, it leaves us with very limited options, and I just get a bit worried. Plus the fact that we're starting, you know, some of our leaders are being picked off, but our losers with shit mentality and poor mentality are staying, and that sort of concerns me, especially going into a season, because once the season starts, there's nothing the club can do but sack the manager and hope to bring someone else in to get some of these guys to turn around, you know, like they seem to do under every manager when we change a manager. So it is a concern, man. But I do hear the points you're making, Michael. Let's talk about Harry Kane. I mean, the saga's just
the big age
coming on, but the interest is heating up. Do you expect we'll lose Kane this window now?
It's such a tough topic, Dave. Like, first of all, like everyone probably said it already, right? But I am so tired of this saga because if it was a first time, then maybe I would have more patience, right? But the same thing happened 2 years ago. Actually, the same thing happened pretty much a year ago when everyone was trying their hardest to sell Kane, even though we had no interest in selling him, right? And this time, I see that like. It's such a tough thing because I actually think PSG will pay enough money to buy him, and I don't buy the whole Joe Louis thing because I don't think that he has any interest in what's going on with the club, right? I don't buy that he ordered Daniel Levy to sell him if Kane doesn't sign any contract. That's bullshit for me, right? But I think Daniel Levy is smart enough himself, whether we like it or not, but he is actually quite a smart man. That he's smart enough that he knows that it would be probably more beneficial to the club as a whole, as an institution, if we actually cashed in on Kane, especially with the recent talks about the buyback clause being like something that's beginning to be mentioned, right? So, again, I don't want us to sell him. I would love it if he signed a new contract, right? But I am actually so like tired with the whole saga, and I actually think that so much relies on Kane and what happens with him. That it gives me a vibe that the club is on hold, like waiting whatever is going to happen with Kane, then we are going to spring into action. I have such a feeling, right? So if this whole thing is supposed to drag until the end of August, I don't want that to happen. I want clarity, right? I would much rather prefer waking up tomorrow and seeing news that they had talks with Kane and he didn't agree to sign a contract and we are going to sell him, but something definite, right? That we would knew 100% this is going to happen, rather than this whole shit show. because like we are all as fans tired of it, right? We all
Yeah.
want Kane to stay, but if he goes, we are not okay in terms of like we are going to accept it, but we will have to accept it, right? So yeah, it's a tough thing. Like
Yeah.
yeah,
It's hard. It's hard. Look, look. How do you think I feel, Michael? I mean, every bit of Kane news that pops out, people straight away automatically, what does Dave think? Let's go to Dave. And it's like, I'm just bored of it now. It's sort of like,
exactly.
these ITKs, I question them now because it's sort of like they said Man United, then they've come out and said Real Madrid, then they've come out and said Bayern Munich, now PSG. Al Hilal was thrown in there as well. It's like if they really were in the know, they'd be able to say, don't worry about this rumor, this rumor, this rumor. This is where he's going. So for me, even all these ITKs that are feeding people stuff and putting stuff out there, I'm at the point where it's just like it's a complete load of utter crap. It's a load of bollocks, because otherwise they'll be able to pinpoint exactly where he's going. But look, I'm not surprised. It's the media. They do this every time with Tottenham Hotspur when we have a world-class player. They ramp up the news about him. Even they put a lot of fake shit out there just to whip it up, get it talking, and it just pisses me off. But, this is what happens when you've got world-class players at your disposal. And for me, it's exactly when Harry Kane talks, and he's one of the only players in this current group that's talked about winning trophies at Tottenham Hotspur. We should be doing all we can to be able to elevate that guy, to be able to help us to do it, or else at least put us back to the situation where we were under Pochettino and give him another sniff. But look, I don't think the club will get the business done now at this point. I was hoping that to be able to get the business done, persuade him with the project and get him to sign. But I mean, we're pissing about over Ashley Phillips, let alone, getting in other centre-backs to be able to, because Harry Kane, why would he sign on the dotted line when he looks around and sees Dyer still at centre-back or Davies or that? But look, Michael, last question for you, my man. What's your thoughts on the whole centre-back pursuit? I mean, for me, it's just absolutely borderline disgraceful. A lot of people were saying to me before pre-season tour, Dave, calm down, you're a lunatic, this, that, and the other. Well, they're all sitting here tonight panicking. What's your thoughts on it?
It's fucking disgraceful, mate. Like, I simply don't get it, right? It's because I don't want to put everything on Levy, right? Because I understand that deals sometimes are hard, right? But for me, and it's the same thing, it's probably like the same feeling I had with the whole Kane situation, right? I would rather see action and I would rather see changes than this whole pissing about with Tapsoba and Van der Ven, right? There is so much fucking talent in Europe and so much you can try and so many deals you can persuade. Teams that, when you roll up and you say, listen, here is 20 million euros for your best center back, right? They will snap your fucking head up. Like that they won't be like bothered about, making deals, whatever, right? I would much rather, like the best thing that could have happened for me was if Ange got the center backs before the preseason tour, right? It didn't happen, but it should have happened, right? Up until now, right? The fact that we are pissing about with Van de Ven and Tapsoba, like it's so stupid because it's not even that we are hearing anything new, right? The worst thing for like I would prefer if, like, for example, I don't know, 3 days ago we got the information that we've bid 25 million for Van de Ven, but they want 35, for example, right? Then two days later we got that we bid 30, they want 35, but they can sell for 30, but we have to loan him back. Like, at least something to keep me fucking interested. The issue is we are in advanced talk with Tapsoba. Great. We were 1 month ago. Nothing changed. Nothing is getting done. Why? Like, it's so stupid for me because as much as I can blame like Levy, whatever, he knows that he has to get center backs in, right? So get it done. Go to, I don't know, Dinamo Zagreb and buy Josip Sutalo. Like, buy him. Just get get a new center back, right? Go to, I don't know, like go to Lens or Lorient and buy one of their center backs. Go to Olympique Lyon, buy Lukeba, whatever. Try something different. We are pissing about with Van de Ven and Tapsoba, right? And it's not like those are like super expensive deals, but it's repeating the same things, right? We talked about it, like, I don't know, we talked about it probably like 2 weeks ago, right? We talked that exactly the same thing. Those are not like super expensive deals. Get it fucking done. Give Ange new center backs so that he can teach them what he wants from them, right? It's so infuriating because I have this like stupid feeling inside me that we will probably sign like Tosin and Lenglet. I'm not fucking okay with that. I swear to God, Lenglet is just another Dyer and Davies, right? And Tosin, I actually kind of rate the guy, right? But it's not enough. We need new, like, fresh approach. And I actually think that, by the way, with Van de Ven and Tapsoba, because I don't know if I ever said that, right? But I actually think we are really looking in a good place because Bundesliga is known for playing extremely high lines, a lot of pressing. Those guys are used to playing a high line. Those guys are used to having to run, having to contribute, being on the halfway line, right? We are looking in good places, in my opinion. But why aren't we getting it done? If it's not Van de Ven and Tapsoba, then maybe try Lacroix from Wolfsburg. Maybe they will sell him, right? Try Tach, the other guy from Leverkusen. Maybe they will sell him. Like, try looking at Simakan from Leipzig. I don't know. Try looking at someone else, but get something done because it's pissing me off and everyone off, right? Every single fan. Like, we all have different opinions about the club. We all have different approaches to ownership, to whatever we are doing. But every single fucking fan I'm like, listening to online, we all know center backs are an issue and we need to get that fixed. And why it's not happening, I have no idea, David. Like, it's just not logical for me. Like,
centre backs is the key for Ange Postecoglou lasting the full season in the dugout or not, but also for Tottenham making progress. Our whole season for me absolutely hinders around that defensive unit. It's what cost us last year. Even if that defensive unit was as solid as it was the season before underneath Antonio Conte, you would have seen Tottenham make Champions League football, 100%.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
With these guys, we've seen time and time again, they can't last it. They can last you about 3-4 months at that level, at that intensity, and they fall off. And if Postecoglou does not lie, if Postecoglou is not in the dugout this time next year, well, then we know why. We know exactly why.
Yeah.
But,
just quickly, my biggest worry is that we won't get like what we want until the season starts, right? And when you look at our like first 7 or 8 fixtures, they are actually quite hard. We have Arsenal away, we have Liverpool and United at home, Brentford away. Like, those are quite hard fixtures, right? So don't be surprised if we don't fix that defense, that after 7 matches we sit at like 9 or 10 or 12 points. And it's not going to be like Ange's fault. It's going to be the backline's fault and our club not getting proper defenders, right? But like, with what I saw, what happened with Pochettino, what happened with Mourinho, what happened with Conte, how fast we can turn on a manager.
Yeah.
I legit have a fear that people will be like coming onto the shows and saying that Ange is failing, Ange is not doing
100%.
what he's supposed to do. Like, I've seen people legit thinking that we have a chance of like getting into Champions League without buying centre backs. Get your head fixed. Without new centre backs, we are nowhere near Europe. Nowhere near Europe. I am 100% certain of it, right? So yeah, we have to get it. We have to get it done. Tosin and Van de Ven, I'm okay with. Tosin and Tapsoba, okay. Van de Ven and Tapsoba, over the moon, right? But some of those guys need to be in, right? Tapsoba, like Tosin and Lenglet, not good enough. We have to get 2 quality centre backs, right?
100%. And look, I agree with you, the Ange Postecoglou thing. As much as we sit here and we'd be like, patience, everyone knew centre-backs was an issue going into the season under Conte last year, And then all of a sudden, people stopped talking about the centre-backs, started making excuses for them, started calling them international players that managers should be getting more out of, and call for Conte's head instead. And the exact same shit is going to happen under Ange Postecoglou. The reality is, it's elite-level sport. If you're not winning, it makes people unhappy. People unhappy start calling for change. Plus, the media dictate a lot of what goes on, a lot of the conversations that take place, and they will not give Postecoglou the same grace they gave Conte or Jose Mourinho. Nowhere near it. So if we don't get it done, I'm sorry, Postecoglou, but we put you in an impossible position. Yeah. But Michael, big yourself up, my man. Next time, come back in earlier because I had you. You're in the thing earlier, and we can have a more of a longer conversation. But Michael, big yourself up. Appreciate your input. Are you around Wednesday for the post-match show?
Yeah, definitely. I will join you finally. And one thing personal, like I promise quickly, I defended my master's on Thursday last week, so I am free. I've officially finished university, so you know. All that takes is finding a job and watching football.
Do you know what, everybody? Big congratulations to Michael. We like to see people achieve over here. We like to see people excel greatness. So, Michael, big yourself up. Hopefully you had a few drinks to celebrate, my man.
Oh, definitely a few too many, mate.
Do you know what? We got a lot of Polish people over here, and I don't know whether it's the same, but like they like to drink, you know, and they can drink as well. So I'm no doubt you had a great a great night out.
Definitely. Not one, actually, more than one.
Probably a couple of nights out, yeah?
Yeah, the whole weekend. As soon as I defended it on Thursday, up until Sunday morning, I was out. Partying with girlfriend and friends. It was perfect. Finally, I got it done.
Oh, fair play to you. I don't know if I could do that. Them few days. But Michael, big yourself up, my man. We'll speak again soon. All right.
Big up, Davo. Thanks for letting me on.
Bye-bye. Everybody, big up Michael in the comments. Absolutely great calling. Michael always has great things to say, and I look forward to having him here on Wednesday for the post-match show. But guys, I think that's it for me. I think we are going to end off. Actually, a lot of people congratulate Michael, which is what we want to see, actually, which is absolutely brilliant. We love celebrating greatness over here. And last but not least, actually, all you Flat Cap members and all you elite members, please check out the community section. And, we've put out a call for you to be able to give us the information we need to be able to deliver on our memberships in terms of your birthdays and stuff like that. So make sure you look out for that and let us get in contact, please. But that's it from me, guys. I'll see you all back here tomorrow. Again, you're going to have solo Dave because Jack will be finalizing his move to his new apartment. So hopefully you guys can stick my ugly mug for one more day. But look, that's it from me. As always, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm getting tired now. I can't even get my words out. Thank you very much to all you guys out there again for your support. It's been incredible. We'll see you all back here tomorrow. As always, come on, you Spurs. In Ange, we trust. Everywhere we go.